Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Welcome back for another Thursday night of painting and chilling and just getting back to it. I haven't touched a paintbrush in too long. I haven't read a book in too long. Too much stuff. Like I was talking to Justin just a minute ago about
Yeah.
just I need a break from all that, and it's Thursday, so let's do that. So how you doing, Justin?
Uh. Okay, I guess.
Okay, well, it could be worse. It can always be worse, right? Um,
Yeah.
I don't want to throw that out there, but glad you're here. It's been a while. Like I said, we haven't hung out in like almost a week, and thank God we got your show in the morning. And
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna do the show this Wednesday or this
Friday,
Friday.
awesome,
Uh,
awesome.
this Friday. It'll probably be a short one, depending on how I feel in the morning.
Okay.
But I will definitely do it. There will be no last minute cancellations like on Wednesday.
Awesome, awesome. We got a
Uh,
couple of friends out there under the weather. My good friend Grim's not feeling so hot, and our good friend Bubba. Prayers, buddies. Hope you guys pull through everything. I know you guys will, but I want to start today with as positive a note as possible. So if you got any spare energy out there, direct it toward those guys. Um, they could use it, and they've always been really good friends of both of ours. So,
mhm.
and I got to tell you this little story. I was talking to Jackie this morning, and
Ooh.
we got to talking about writing, and he's like, you got to get you got to give me a hard copy, a hardback of your book, and I'm like, what the fuck? You haven't even read it yet, kid. It or
Well, it's just a short
the
story for now, right? Like,
Right, right. But he knows I'm going to write the whole novel, so to speak. We talked about the different things that I'm going to do, but he also wants to write his manifesto, of course. And I'm like, hey,
yeah.
got to run it through Google, not Google, Amazon. I'll send him the video you sent me, so he doesn't, get the FBI knocking at our door. Um,
He will.
well, it's really just a satire that he's writing, but he 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 doesn't have that look, but he's got that weirdness about him. I mean, the kid wears a top hat to school. He's just asking for a weird reputation going into his junior year, which is just like 4 weeks away. I can't believe how fast it's gone by. Just yeah. So
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Uh, it's as long as you don't play shenanigans with most things, Google doesn't really care. Ge-
yeah.
they're concerned about customer experience. So as long as the customer is happy with what they get, like reasonably happy with what they get,
Mhm.
uh, you shouldn't have a problem. But
No, I don't foresee any issues. But speaking of little guy, he wants me to put out a voice actor call yet again because he needs like 11 different people for a particular scene, like a kind of like a Council of Elrond, a whole bunch of different people saying their thing in different accents, even though they're all going to look like bugs, which I find hysterical. Most of his characters are insects, and he wants like German and Russian and Vietnamese accents, and I'm like, okay, I'll see what we can do. So, any listeners out there, you want to make your big break or help the little guy do his thing, we'll get the scripts out in a little while after he gets back. What are you eating?
uh, little redheaded
Foil.
stepchild burger,
Oh, I was going to say aluminum foil. That's not really healthy.
Wendy's,
Oh, Wendy's. Oh, okay. I learned how to make French
chili.
toast this week, so I'm happy. It turned out really good this morning, and I'm a
Oh
big fan of
no
French
way!
toast.
You learn how to put egg in a tray and dip bread in it.
Well, it wasn't just that. It's the the precise flipping and the vanilla and you know
Okay, so fundamentally, all you need is the egg and the bread. The vanilla, the cinnamon, all that stuff is extra,
yeah.
and it's just like a pancake when it comes to the
Well, I've made it
frying pan.
before and it wasn't quite right. And this morning I made it and it turned out perfect. So I'm like, all right, I got
Yeah,
this.
yeah, it's easy, man.
No, I didn't
You
have the
definitely
power.
want the you definitely want the vanilla, and I recommend cinnamon.
Yeah, yeah. And I
Yeah,
had both of
cinnamon.
those. I just didn't have the powdered sugar, but
Oh yeah. Powdered sugar or the lifeblood of Canada, maple syrup.
yeah, yeah. You got to have all of those things, in my opinion.
Yeah, some jam, some good berry jam is always nice.
I might try that. I might try
Yeah,
that.
like raspberry or
Yeah,
blueberry.
I like cherry, but cherry's like sometimes it's just a little too much.
Hmm.
I find cherries better on like an English muffin with butter, so it's like kind of salty to offset that super high powered cherry flavor. Otherwise, I just go with raspberry, and I can't do strawberries because I'm allergic to them. But it's all good. And folks, the link is in the usual place on my Discord if you want to come
Hmm.
and join us and just chill. And
Sorry, I'm eating, but I literally just woke up and this was
hey,
sitting there.
no worries, dude. No worries. Um,
Um.
I realized I was getting kind of burnt out with painting because I was, pumping out those Dungeons and Lasers miniatures for a world that I didn't really give a shit about. I did all the cool monsters. There's still some cool monsters left that I can use for anything, but I'm like, it was starting to be work, and I'd only ran through like 60 or 80 of those things and I'm getting back down to the end of the pile, and I'm like, I just don't give a shit. I need to
Yeah.
actually go and buy like or find that one mini that's just like, oh yeah, I can't wait to paint this instead of it being like work. And so, if you guys have any suggestions out there of something that's just like stunningly cool, uh, let me know because I'm running out of I've gone through all the
Mm.
Reaper minis. I've got like 99% of everything that I want from them.
Hmm. Side note, George, are we friends on Discord? If so, send me a ding and I'll send you a.
Oh, am I?
Uh,
Oh my God, I am being such a freaking. They actually fixed. Hey, what's up, George and TCG and Squirrel? Sorry, guys, I did not have the chat on. They actually fixed it. The chat button is no longer behind the need help button. Thank you, guys. Uh, but if you're friends with me on uh, Discord. It's at the very top of my Discord. It says live stream links.
mhm.
So TCG, what's happening, man?
Yeah.
Again, it hasn't it's been like a week since we chatted. You know where the link is if you want to pop in and paint, maybe show off something spiffy to spark my interest. I did talk to George and Dave this afternoon. They're actually in the
Different George.
they're from Emperor's Choice. They're actually in the crafting part of their warehouse. The casting, I should say, they're casting miniatures. So maybe I'll go pick up something from them. But there's only a couple of minis that I don't have of theirs.
Yeah. On a side note, Wendy's has this ghost pepper ranch, and it's got some kick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. What
what
are
the
you
hell was
puking at?
that?
That was an unexpected pain in my back, so the involuntary reaction apparently was vomiting.
Yeah,
Holy,
probably.
that's exactly what it sounded like was a vomit. I'm like, well, way to start the show.
Sorry, I am sorry about that. I
Remind
just
me
went to
next
shit at
time
a
As
I
I'm
desk.
talking about food.
and remind me next time I want to invite this clown to make sure he's in good health. That was almost like comedic. I don't mean to make fun or anything, but I thought it was like
That's
literally.
fine.
I thought it was like a soundboard sound effect. I'm like That was like the perfect, 2-second hurl. So nice. Just
Well, anybody wants to clip that and use it, they can.
I've been
okay.
looking into a soundboard.
Me too. I've got this little thing. Whoa, this little goofy thing that's got. Does it
Yeah.
have? Does it have the Ralph? Could you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Barely.
Okay, it needs new
Yeah.
batteries, but
Well,
it uses like round ones, and I could never get the little round camera batteries right.
yeah.
I'll
What I
get the
think
number.
Justin's talking about is one of those soundboards you hook directly up to your computer, so it plays as
Yeah,
if it.
yeah. We
Yeah.
we used to have one for our Halloween shows a couple years back, and
Oh
it was
yeah.
just an app on our tablet, and we'd have somebody pushing the buttons off to the side. That was fun.
I've
Whatever it
still been.
takes to.
Yeah. I've still been looking for one of those because I'm not tech savvy at all. I'm still looking for one of those synthesizer programs that basically let you make your own music,
Mhm.
or maybe one of those AI music generators.
Yeah, Jackie got really good at using AI to make songs. I mean, in like 2 days, he pumped out 20 songs that I could have swore he was just finding on YouTube or something like that. And I'm like, dang, kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, Shadow. I put into the
The chat with the My Show chat.
yeah,
A link to
yeah.
Reaper.
That right there is a Reaper saying, "Hey, we want a Chaos Space Marine."
Okay, hey, what's up, Doc? You know where the link is? You want to kick back and chill and talk about anything about you know gaming and painting and crafting and that sort of thing. Not really in the mood
Yeah,
to talk about the other crap. Kind of up to here with it. Um,
yeah. Well, when you
Yeah.
said you're looking for new miniatures, I was like, I don't know if it's totally up his alley, but I think it's awesome. Here you go, Shadow. Check that out.
okay, where is it in Discord?
Yeah,
The show chat for My Show.
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah.
I'll take a look
Now that
at
I
it.
think about hindsight's 2020, I probably should have put it in the miniature section of Shadow's chat or Discord.
You can do both.
Yes.
And I'll do that here in a little bit.
George is saying that he's on Bear's Discord.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not in there anymore. They're falling out with Bear. It's not a problem.
yeah, no, uh, anyways, hope he's doing okay. I haven't seen
Mm-hmm.
much of him. I know he said he was not going to be doing stuff for a while, and I think that lasted all of about a week.
Yeah, it usually does with him.
I can't stay away from you guys that long myself. Uh, I miss you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I've had the place to myself, so it's just me and Chewy, uh, and he's not much of a conversationalist. He just gives me the side eye, and you know, does his little doggy
Just make
noises
sure
when he
when
wants food.
just make sure when Jackie comes back, you pay attention and see if he's got any golden armor.
Golden armor. Oh,
God King.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
What do you
sure.
think?
I'm sure he probably does. He probably dug it up somewhere in Mexico. He got the vision, and he went off into the desert and dug like 3 scoops, and there it was.
mhm.
It's just a
And,
suit of Fallout 4 power armor, just with a gold paint job.
No.
I got him. I bought him New Vegas because
Oh, such a good game.
we were watching Fallout, and we're like, okay, let's find something that we can play on the console that we have, or one of the consoles that we have. And I got it for him. He was like, oh, I got the deluxe edition with all the DLCs already on the disc and everything. And
Yeah.
Oh
he
yeah.
turned it on, played it for an afternoon, and then didn't
Yeah.
touch it again. And I'm like,
Squirrel Hermit's going to Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Where does
Never
it
Be at
say
been.
that?
Wendy's.
Oh,
Burger night here, DQ.
that sounds really good.
Yeah. Get one of their frozen yogurts or whatever, the frappe or whatever it's called.
Justin, are you on Legion of Myth?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, give me a second, George. I will do the things and find you because you're always here. And God, I am so bad at this today.
Oh
So, Justin, have you had a chance to read my book?
man, I'll tell you, I've been out of it all week, ever
Oh, okay,
since the
that's fair.
weekend. Um, I've had a splitting headache and periodic
Oh,
puking.
Uh, Live is where did you post in uh, on Max's Discord there, George?
But I do have it, TCG. I do have your book or your story. Uh, using the right term.
yeah,
Book
I
is a
should be too.
medium. Most people don't, but book is a medium, right? It's the actual
Yeah,
physical paper thing. Mm,
I've just been super excited about it and wanting as many opinions as possible, which I've only gotten one so far. Shadow.
George, where did you post? On the welcome page? Okay, give me a second.
what the hell?
Okay, not seeing anything.
Yeah.
I see Law Dog. What's up, Law Dog?
Oh, Doc, I only used that the one night, and it was fun. I liked
Oh, look
going
at
like
that,
this
George.
and having my world rotate instead of my head. It was fun.
I just added you as a friend there, George.
Mm.
Igorog, that's you, I'm assuming. Let me go up here and do the same with Law Dog. I don't know if he's in the chat right at the moment, but oh, I guess I'm already.
Beelzebub, unlike your innards, ours are just one. Saying you should be in a bit better health before you start making that joke. Oh.
Hi, what's up, Bubba? That was a cool pic of you, man. You looked heavily sedated, but uh, ready
Mhm.
ready to kick some surgical ass.
I will note though, so I tied one on pretty hard for my birthday, right on the 14th, and then we had like a massive heat wave, and I think that's what threw me, got me in the "you're not doing well" cycle, and then when I was starting to feel a bit better, I had some McDonald's.
Oh, welcome to the
Yeah,
show, Doc.
Hey,
So a
is
Canadian
this
heat wave,
better
huh?
on the
Does
audio?
that mean you got above freezing?
yeah, yeah. Your video's fine, Doc.
How's the audio? I'm trying to use
The
a
audio's
new.
Slightly
okay. I'm
low.
going to turn you up though. And
Okay,
George, I just sent you the link directly. So if you want to join us,
Mhm.
come on down. Let's talk gaming, painting, crafting, any of that shit. Um,
Well,
I am saving the
I've
last
discovered
spot for.
Fast food.
Okay, we can talk fast food. Um,
I,
I haven't
I've
had any.
discovered AIs are not good for creating planets. All they want to do is recreate Earth over and over
Yeah.
again. So I got to find an artist for making a floating continents and island planet for somewhere in my book.
You know, hmm. I was gonna say if you're just trying to draw, like a regular planet, I would say like draw Mars but make it purple, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, the planet I'm doing is my game planet, and it is
Right,
the
with
size
the
of
floating
Jupiter.
isles, very, very skies of Arcadia.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
you don't see the core, so it can't just be Mars. I've got to have it's got to be a lot of clouds. There will be seas on some of the continents, like unlike Skies of Arcadia where you never see a sea. I'm actually going to have seas,
Hmm.
but also compared to Skies of Arcadia, I think I have a larger planet. Yeah, the game doesn't give scale very well given how fast you travel, but I feel like Skies of Arcadia was maybe twice, three times the size of Earth.
That was a
Not,
fun game.
not the size
It
I'm
was a
giving
fun
it.
game.
Skies of Arcadia.
It
Sounds
was it was
familiar.
like PS2, I think.
We
It's
had it on
gone back.
Dreamcast. Then it came out
Yes.
on uh, not
Yeah.
GameCube, which basically had the director's cut version. You had a lot of
Okay,
things
because
that
I,
were
I
missing.
had the Dreamcast.
Didn't
Uh,
they knock that off for an episode of Sliders with the airships, and the pirates?
What
if they
surprised me,
did, I missed it. I'm sorry to hear that, Bubba. I'm sure you're going to give us all kinds of details tomorrow because you say insanely disgusting. I can only think of two things, and those are like pretty normal. So, uh, yikes. And what's up, Cal? You ready for Saturday? I've missed just about like every possible game opportunity in the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks. Normally, I've got like 4 games a week, and nothing, just drought city, man.
Mm,
the only game I'm in is Bruce's every other Saturday. Oh, he calls
yeah.
it his
I just got a
hobby.
package from Bruce last week, right before Jackie left. We'll be opening it as soon as he gets back,
Nice.
and I have I was totally shocked. I was like, "What?" He said he's going to send me something. I forgot about it, and then I get this big old box, and I'm like, "What the shit?"
Hmm.
I need to level up 44. Yes, same here. Uh,
Level up 44.
that's his character's name is 44.
Mm. Um, you should not be playing to your levels. You should be playing to the events in the world.
Right. Well, no, it's just that we all leveled up. We hit a milestone kind of thing, and with that kind of game, since we went from first to second level, it can allow the GM to throw a little bit tougher stuff our way.
Hmm.
Um, and George says one thing I did for a planet was take a color elevation map of the
Hmm.
moon. Blue was low, green middle, red was high. Made a cool map look like oceans and lakes. Okay, I
Hmm.
can see that. Raven, what are you doing? You've got the link. Um, and George says you can do the same with Mars and Venus.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I've got RPG Elite. We won a contest with him out of nowhere. I didn't even know he had it. He sent us this massively complex world building uh, Kickstarter thing online, and I sent it to Jackie with the code and everything, and he never did anything with it. And I don't do that. I just take some graph paper and some pens and some crayons and draw a map, and I'm good. Speaking of maps,
If you're looking for something pretty, those programs are usually good for that. But,
don't
you
call me
know,
shortly.
what?
Raven says I'll be there shortly. I'm like, hey, Doc, what is that a map of behind you?
That is a map of the world from the late 1700s.
Oh,
Hmm.
really?
You can tell because there are real continents on it. Yeah, it's nice. I wish it was straight because it bugs me that there are
Wrinkles?
wrinkles in it. Yeah,
Yeah, but I like that because it's fabric, and
yeah.
I was bugging George and Dave to make fabric maps of Arduin, which didn't happen. But then
They're
the
they're,
Planet of
they're
the
more
Apes,
robust, but
yeah,
I'm thinking about sewing a line so I could put a curtain rod through it so it'll hang
hmm
straighter.
hmm
And then I saw the Planet of the Apes Kickstarter that just ended, had in fact a cloth tapestry map, and I'm just like, oh, you bastards!
Hmm.
Because
You
Planet
know,
of the Apes was my thing as a kid, man.
the good thing
It's
about putting a curtain rod through the top is you can then use it like a curtain. Put another map behind it.
what? Try it.
Sorry to hear
Uh,
that,
all,
Cal.
all, all
It
I see
seems
is
like
him going.
a lot of
Then we go from this dimension to here, and then we go from this dimension back to here, and then 3 maps later. But then we have to jump to this dimension, and then 2 more maps, and 3 back maps.
Yeah, all
And
right.
then by the
These
time
pretty
he's done, everyone
primary
goes, "What
locations.
did you say?" He's like, "Good."
Good.
like,
Uh, oh. Uh,
sorry to hear that, Cal. I'm sure Saturday. Oh, thanks, George. He just sent me the moon map.
mm,
Nice.
moon.
And don't worry,
A
Cal.
good map is.
We'll get some shit done Saturday and work out some of that
I,
stress.
I would think there's got to be a map making program that'll let you do globes.
Yeah, the one I was talking about. I'll look it up and
There's a
uh,
few of them.
yeah, it was a kind of a big deal that he sent it to us, and I feel bad that we didn't use it. But it did everything, even from the mountains all the way to deep inside the planet. Just it looked awesome. But I'm old school as you get. Okay, no worries, George. The link will be there. We'll be here a while. Um, if you want to join us and just shoot the shit, because like I said, it's been too long, and I need to find
Hmm.
some inspiration to get back into the swing of things and not just paint like it's work. Speaking of which, I am going to paint something while we speak because
Oh yeah, it's like
that's
that
that's what I
miniature
do,
that
man.
put in Discord. When I first seen that, when I first just seen it in the box, I'm like, oh, that's really neat. I put it together, got it primed with the first layer of primer because everyone screams
Oh.
Vallejo primer. I do not like Vallejo primer that much. It scrapes off way too easily. I know some say, well, I scraped off with a fingernail. Well, why are you scraping with a fingernail? Because if it
No,
somehow
it
come
should
in
be
contact with it, it
resistance.
breaks off. I'm
It should be resistant to that. Good
yeah.
primer is supposed to bite into the material and bond with it.
I
Uh,
still have to do some practicing with my new airbrush. See if I was maybe just applying the wrong material to the airbrush.
Shadow, man, you gotta put that on a different surface than your
Yeah,
camera or
you know
your
what? It
microphone.
is it is actually on a different surface. It's just that I was trying to shake this, which is a bottle of
Yeah,
Bombay ink, and it's not meant to be used on that, so it just
yeah.
went nuts.
Um,
I didn't know you had one of those.
Oh yeah, they're fucking great.
and
I got it for like
orbiting.
29 bucks. It's a Labinvo uh,
Yeah,
lab mixer.
he
Uh,
went down to the store with the blocked out windows and the three X's in neon above the door, and he bought a thing that vibrated.
no, no, no. You know what? You smartass. Let's see if I can pull it up.
We know.
Other than being a different brand, that's what mine looks like.
But
Mine's
I got the
black.
googly eyes. You got googly eyes? I didn't think so.
I'm over the age of 4.
Dude, I'm telling you, when I saw Ninjon had done that, and I'm like, oh my god, that is so silly. And then I did it on mine, and every time I sit down here, I look at my paint shaker, and it looks like this goofy-eyed looking little goblin-y thing, and I'm like, yep,
You should have spray
retirement is
painted it green first.
ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I have to wear a hard hat at work, and during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where they sell these pink ones. So I put eyes on it and painted the brim black. It was my flamingo helmet. They wouldn't let me wear it on the job.
Why not?
No sense of humor.
Yeah,
They said hard material was the excuse they
Dude,
used.
that is pretty freaking funny, dude.
foreign
I
material.
would I would have
People
literally
put
given
stickers
you a
on them all the
raise.
time.
If I was your boss, I would literally given you a raise just for freaking bringing some,
Whoa, you okay there?
Yep.
Yep.
Wait, where's my thumb?
Any
It
any
sounded like
crash
there
shit.
was a disaster, but you seemed really excited about it, so I don't know what's going on.
I was thinking your girlfriend goosed you or something, and then you fell over.
Uh,
No, that was me keeping from cussing.
Hungar. Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Hey,
there.
My
look at
chair
the king of
broke.
the nerds, Hungar, dude.
Oh, fuck me, this is bad.
Okay, what do you got to say to them
I'm
apples there?
fine, but my chair is totally fucked.
I am totally sorry to hear that.
No.
Um,
And
Chairs
this
are
is
an
the only
important thing to
chair I
have.
have.
Mm. Well, I got this one for $20 off of the internet. You might want to look into that.
I
Cal,
paid more for this and it still was a piece of crap.
Mm.
Everything's made of Chinesium
that was
these
funny,
days.
Cal.
Hey, don't knock the Chinesium. It's a very valuable resource.
The one I had
Chinesium, what the hell
years
is
ago,
that?
I had to abandon it and move. I had a dispatcher chair. Oh my God, those are so comfortable.
Dispatcher chair. I'll have to look into that.
It's like for people who are like, yeah, do
This
like,
is sitting
sit on
for
the phone. Yeah, to do like phone stuff all day. Like that the 911 operators use. Oh, it is so comfy.
fucking an office chair, like an 8-hour chair or a 16-hour chair. Um, I was trying to explain that to somebody on YouTube. You ever hear the? Do you know the author Partlow? Fuck, his first name's escaping me.
No.
It doesn't matter. He wrote some cheesy sci-fi books. I was talking to him on his YouTube chat, and he was like buying a new desk chair, and I was like, "Don't get the gaming chair," because he had a gaming chair before that. And he's like, Get the fucking office chair. Don't get the expensive one. Get the cheap office chair." And he goes out and gets like a $600 chair. And I sent him a link to like a $120 chair. Uh, and I was like, "What the fuck, man? Why are you doing that? The $120 chair is like an 8-hour chair. It's meant to be sat in for 8 hours straight without moving, right?
Uh-huh.
Without having any back problems or anything. You get this fucking $600-700 gaming chair that looks like it's modeled after a racing car chair. It's meant for you to sit in for like 30 minutes, and you get back
Really?
problems. Like, I don't know why anyone would design a chair that isn't designed to be sat in for long periods of time, just in case a person needs to. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, my chair I'm sitting in is literally a dining room chair.
Yeah, which is meant to be sat in for like an hour max
Yeah.
while you're eating. It's not meant for
Yeah. That's
long
why
term work.
I do get up and have a smoke roughly every hour, not just because I want a cigarette,
Yeah.
but because if I don't, my back gets all jacked up, and then
Mhm.
uh, I don't want to do a show, and that's not good.
I was going to use my desk chair when I set up the camera originally, but I hadn't sat in it for a few years, and I don't know, the mechanism was from the 20s. Right, it's an old office chair from the 20s or 30s. Uh, I stole it from Parliament. I fucking
Cal,
stole
I
Parliament,
looked and I just
but
didn't see anything I couldn't live without from those guys. The one thing that I did like was their their ball statue, whatever from the player's handbook. But then I watched Bloodworth open one up, and it was dinky. I'm like, no, that's not going to cut it. It was, I
Are
guess
they
it was
going out of
25 mil
business?
scale. Was that Doc?
Are they going out of business?
Yeah, they are.
do you know why? Just bad sales, or
That's what I would guess.
Maybe the guy's getting too old to keep pouring pewter because I think the guy does the stuff himself there. No.
Yeah, that's kind of what I understood, but I mean, it could be something else.
Yeah.
The economy is crap, and if you don't advertise your product, something like that, like a lot, you won't get the traction and the customers you need to stay in business.
Yeah. That's the first rule about supply chain and owning that kind of business is you've got to once you get enough capital to start producing in volume, you've got to distribute that to a third party. If it's a money issue, because you don't make money off of producing the thing yourself. You make money off of having someone else produce a thing for you. Uh, it's the first rule of economics. Uh, it's more profitable to live off the margin of transfer of goods than it is to produce the good itself. Oh, hmm.
Little Econ 101 from Justin. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
From a man who can't even afford a light bulb.
We
I can
can't
afford a
afford a
light
what?
bulb. I can't afford to get up and walk over there. There's a big difference. The light switch is more than my arm's length away from me, so it can't be turned on. Wait. I can do this one.
I would rather live in darkness than stand.
Yes. This is a true statement. Oh,
Raven, what are you doing? That spaghetti better be damn good. Just
oh,
saying.
I'm just glad you stopped using that crazy swivel cam.
oh! I'm sad now. That
I'm
was
kind of
fun the
worried
first
about
night, though.
TCG. You still with us, bro?
He's looking for a chair
He's ordering a chair.
from the living room.
Amazon is quick, but I don't think that's gonna work.
Well, yes, but living room is faster, or a
Yeah,
kitchen.
yeah, I suppose.
Kitchen is like he's in a shed, so he has to leave his shed, go back into the main house. I'm stealing this chair. Leave the house.
I was addicted to office chairs that bent back for the longest time, but I had to give them up because it was tearing my back up.
Well, that's the problem with my desk chair is the thing that bends back like the whole. It's just the seat. It's all one piece because it's wood, right? So it all bends back, but it just it bends back. It doesn't. There's no resistance because it's so old. I could probably go in there and like fix the spring or something, take the mechanism apart, and then because it's an old chair, it's only got four spokes in the bottom, not five, like most modern office chairs have.
Okay.
So it's more prone
It'll
to
fall
tipping.
over.
Yeah, it's more prone to tipping. Uh, and even if you get like one spoke directly behind you, it'll just go off to the side.
Really, I
Yeah,
didn't know that, Cal. Like I said, I looked, I saw a few things, but just not enough to
yeah,
just really whet my appetite.
yeah. I know they got some. They have some or had some good old face pig faced orcs, didn't
Hmm.
they?
And I think they had some decent bugbears.
Yeah,
The furry yellow giant teddy bear bugbears, as opposed to what people have been putting out lately, which are just like, to me, they're just a little bit different than the hyena knolls. And I'm like, I got all that shit already.
the
Um,
gnolls. I like a good gnoll. Bugbears. No, I thought they were like bears with owl faces. That's how you're supposed to do a bugbear.
no, a bugbear is oftentimes actually like a big giant teddy bear with a pumpkin head.
I'm thinking of something else. I'm
You're
thinking
thinking
of
owlbears.
yeah.
And I've got a really cool owlbear miniature that I got from. Hold on, let me get it.
I would say the best knoll you'll ever get is the Frostgrave kit. Frostgrave does a kit for 20 knolls.
I got this from Dungeons and Lasers. It's an owlbear family. You know, it's the mama owlbear. But the cool thing is, it's got these. I don't know if you can see that. Hold
Up
on.
higher,
Up higher. There you go.
a little higher.
It,
We're only seeing the top half of the pictures at the bottom. That's
well,
all.
I'm trying to show this part right here
Okay.
with the air. It's literally got like arrows sticking out of its back,
Ah,
and it's got different ways you can assemble it. And I've got an extra, so I'll be giving that away later on in the year when we finally hit 1,000.
y- if
What's up?
shipping
What's
is
up,
less than
Fred?
$15, let me know and I'll enter for the. You better ship to fucking Canada, you asshole.
Okay. Uh,
I'll pay most to ship it.
it's a really small box. It's like like the size of
Yeah,
a
yeah,
deck
yeah.
of cards or a starter deck or
No,
whatever.
no, I just like giving you shit about this. Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know
Okay.
if
Cool.
I have
By the
returned.
way, dude,
Sorry about
Did
that.
you
That
steal a
was
chair from the kitchen?
no, not at the moment because I don't. There is no chairs on this property that are stealable in that kind of fashion because they're either I'm not separating them from the set because they're too old because I don't want to risk damaging them, or they are certainly sitting in my sister's bedroom because that's where she has her computers.
Oh,
My landlord, my mother, has been gracious enough to go to town and pick me up a chair real quick, so I can survive till then.
wow.
okay.
Well, we're gonna have to start
Mamazon is a lot faster than Amazon.
with Amazon.
Yeah.
Nice. We're gonna have to start a GoFundMe for TCG and get him a chair.
Well, you set it up, and I'll send 50 cents to it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get right the fuck on that. Right
You're not
after I
gonna
do all
do
the
it.
other things that I say I'm going to do but have yet to do. Uh,
That sounds familiar.
We could do a chair
yeah.
telethon.
Yeah, we'll do a telethon. That's a great idea.
We got to
Yeah.
get some used up, washed up celebrity to host it, though.
Yeah. A couple of
Jackie
names
I
come to
Chan.
think
mind.
Alec Baldwin might be available.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. I hear Jack Black's freaking
Yeah,
entire
he
year
needs some
is
work.
wide the fuck open.
Good to hear.
Yeah,
Good.
and he threw his buddy under the bus. Oh,
I know, right? It's like what a dick move. I mean, those guys were, you know, first blush they were pretty tight, and I was just like, wow, dude.
and I bet Black put him up to it too because I don't
Oh,
see
I
Kyle
bet
being
so.
motivated about anything.
Yeah, it was like his idea, and then he's like,
Yeah.
oh man, fucked up shit. Off grid, I am continuing to slowly add more minis to my Ralparth 25 millimeter collection. They're so pricey though on eBay. Off grid, I am partially to blame for that. I am so sorry. But what I would say is go with Heritage. Heritage were better. But that's just my humble opinion. And if it depends on what you're looking for in Ralpartha, if you're looking for anything from the Hyborian Wars or whatever that was called, let me know because I know a guy and he can hook you up for like three $3 and a quarter per mini. Metal, not lead. So there's
Yeah,
that.
which is good because I have a couple of Ralparthos and like I have this sorceress that I really liked and was getting into, and then her nose just disappeared.
Because it was lead.
Yeah,
Or she was doing a lot of blow.
probably
Yeah,
both.
I've got a. He made me. My friend made up a bunch of archive minis, and if you remember back in the day, archive had some cool,
I know
weird
Arco.
shit. Uh,
But honestly, I'm telling you, I'm either going much smaller in scale, which is
mhm,
easier to paint, or
mhm.
much larger in scale, which is more enjoyable to look at.
If you want like 15, 18 mils, I would go with Splintered Light. They make some great
Mm,
freaking fantasy army type stuff and monsters to the point that I
yeah.
actually started collecting them to make
I'm thinking 15, maybe 10 for
well,
like
their
wargaming.
15s are between 15 and a little bit bigger, but
Yeah,
they're
like
still tiny.
17, but it's just tall. It's just a tall guy.
And they're so good that I took a chess set, magnetic chess set, and made a portable dungeon in a box using just the 15 millimeter miniatures. That way, the chessboard is like the tile floors, and
The grid. Yeah,
I took some Jenga blocks from a 99-cent store version of Jenga and
yeah.
cut them
I love those.
and painted them for the walls and the doorways and stuff, and
Hmm.
put some magnets on them so you can just make little dungeons right then and there, real quick, and it looks great, uh, tiny, more or less like half walls, not full, but it works. Yeah, Hermit there it's great stuff, and that way when he goes off to college or the military, he can have a chess set, but in it, he can put the chess pieces like in another box, and then have everything he needs to play some D&D, you know, whenever he wants. And it, if it all disappears, I could remake it and re-get it, super cheap.
Hmm. I have really been
Call
looking
of
in.
Duty, those were good. That was a really, really good D&D line off grid. So much
Mm,
so that I own none of them because, like I said, the cost is pretty crazy. If I can find out who has the molds for those, because it might be that Italian company. Although I think they just got Grenadier, but that was admittedly in a lot of ways better than Heritage. But the reason I like Heritage so much is Max Carr gave all the humanoid faces just this really happy looking faces that were just like his style. They were all smiling, no matter what they were doing. It was almost like cartoonish, like the Dungeon Master's Guide art.
mhm.
A lot of it was based on the Monster Manual art, but it just had this charm that wasn't all taking itself too seriously.
There was this tutorial that I posted a while back from this YouTube channel I used to watch, um, where the guy did his terrain board. He mixed iron filing in with the paint and flock,
Oh,
and instead of having bases on the miniatures, he recessed a magnet into the feet. So whenever you put the model on the board, it would just stand instead of needing a base. So it looked like the character was actually standing on the ground because he
oh,
was
that's kind of
actually standing
bitchy.
on the ground. Well, yeah, um,
That is
yeah.
ingenious. And yes, Squirrel, the detail is insane, especially like the dark elves. Holy crap! I'm just like, okay, I better break out the 000 brush. I don't care what you guys say about the one. There ain't no way. No freaking way could I ever get that. Although Jackie's mom, right when James L was sending me all those 15 mil minis, um, she brought me home from her work a microscope, and I was like, "Huh? I never thought of it." And then I turned on the light and everything, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, if you want to get into the microscope game and you don't mind blowing like $200 to $500, get get a solder station, an electron microscope, an electric microscope, right? So it's a microscope module. You connect it to a laptop, and then it's like a monitor, and it's like super high detail, and you just paint under that, look into the screen. No need for magnifying glasses ever for the rest of your life. You
Yeah,
want to paint
this
you want
this was a very expensive microscope because she works at an electronics company for the
so yeah.
government. So it's
So,
and
but you can get them as kits off of Amazon, or if you want to save a couple of bucks,
don't worry
I have no
about the
problem
grammar
waiting.
off grid.
Yeah.
And Squirrel, I'm writing that down. KHURASAN. Yep,
Da, 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 da.
because I have a
It's in
notebook
your
just for
Discord
shit
sooner,
like that.
Shadow.
Pardon, TCG.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't put this in your Discord sooner. I found on Amazon these are the most fun pointed brushes I have ever seen, and they're nail brushes. You know, detail nails
Yep,
for
yep. They're
details
triple
on wood.
zeros. I got some right here.
Yeah.
Oh no, they go beyond that.
You,
Oh, really? Beyond triple
yeah.
zero?
You can
Yeah.
get like a 20x zero.
But yeah, they are for doing nail art on fingernails. Uh,
You want to
Brian
get
from
used
Bruce
to
World War
actually
II,
loves
his
the
painting.
set he
wife does that.
purchased.
You want to try and get used to painting with a number two, not super fine. You'll find that.
Oh no, this the super fine is just for details. Like, oh well, I don't want to put a whole
Okay.
bunch of metal around that tiny little button. Just the button. That's what that.
That's why you
Mhm.
paint the button first, and then you paint around the button. That's what I
I
do.
find it easier to paint on top because usually when I paint around the button, I end up with something on the button. I find it
Mhm.
easier. I've seen so many different techniques, and I usually find it's easier to paint from most inner layer out, where there's some people who do it from most outer layer in, and there's
Mhm.
people who go. I also tend to hop, which is the other technique, hop to hop from area to area, whatever I find best to paint in that moment, or what fascinates me to paint in that moment. So I'm not
Now, where the fuck are your
necessarily the most
miniature
efficient painter.
section, Shadow?
Miniature painting.
Oh yeah, it's called
Ah,
like crafts or something.
crafts and miniature painting
Yeah,
projects. Yeah, you got too much stuff everywhere,
That's a
bro.
cool moon map there, George.
yeah.
Okay. I just linked that website to your miniature section, the one that you were writing the name down.
Uh huh.
I love world maps,
Yeah,
but that's
world
what this
maps
is.
are good. Um,
Oh no, this is about
it
miniatures.
helps
That's
to
what it's
know
about.
where it helps to know where you're going in a scenario or story or whatever, to
Yeah.
visualize what the world would be like in that area.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I was telling Shadow this last week when we were talking about maps. When I was reading the BattleTech books, I always liked having the big inner sphere map. So every time they
Oh
would
yeah.
go to a different location in the book, I would go, like, I had the map on my computer, and I'd go in, I'd open it up and paint or whatever, and then write a note of what was happening on the map. Uh, that way I could visualize as the characters were moving around from book to book, or 'cause usually the books they start somewhere, then they go to a location and spends the whole time there, right?
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes there might like bounce to some other location. There were a few that did that, but you get a visualization of how long, how far things are, and they claim in the book series how long it should take to go somewhere.
Okay.
Well, I don't know how much you know about BattleTech, Shadow.
I've read about a dozen of the books.
Okay, so they have the Carnifugia drive. They're faster than light travel system,
Right.
and if in one source it tells you it takes 3 weeks to go from one place to the next in actual travel time, and then they write in the book that it only took like 3 days. Well, one of those sources is a non-reliable.
Right.
You start to notice continuity issues, and that's one of the things I've been trying to get on you with the shared world. Is the sooner we establish some ground rules.
There was this great program. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked since Windows 8. It was called Chi Viewer, and it was this accurate equatorial star map that went out to 250 light years, and you can like zoom it out. It had every star out to that
Gee.
range on it. I've been trying to figure out a way to get it to work on a
There's
modern
a
system.
program called Space Engine.
Space Angel. Let me check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been looking
there's a
for a replacement for that.
there's a free version running around out there. I know the guy that creates it put it on Steam for like 30 or $60, something like that.
Really?
Um, so it's harder to get the free version, but it was a beefy program that did the entire known galaxy and filled in the iffy parts with like procedural crap, so you can go there and look around. Um, so you can like pick a random star that we have charted, and it'll like make up what the solar system would look like until actual information was there to fill in. But uh, all the known like exoplanets and stuff are accurately plotted down in their
Oh, cool.
their solar system. Then it gives you like technical data on different things. Um, that's one of the reasons why I know most theoretically most planets are going to be desert planets when we find them, because just the way things seem to be going with all
Oh,
the scientific
speaking of
knowledge we have
continuity,
so far.
I don't like giving spoilers, but I want to say this because it might need to be changed. Uh, I called Old Earth a Class 5 death planet in the book I'm writing
Oh,
for.
don't do that, man. That's AI bullshit, man. That
Uh,
like
uh,
that term
yeah.
is literally AI generated. Like
I thought that came from Harry Harrison.
Harry Harrison.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where the AI is taking that from. But there's a lot of these stories on YouTube,
Oh
right?
yeah, those the AI generated. Yeah, they
Yeah, I
are
know because I make a bunch of
bullshit.
them,
Why should
and
put
I'm
us?
always having to take Death World out of mine because it's just overused and not really, bro. We got some harsh climates, but this place is like a fucking baby's pen.
I'm pretty
We live on a world.
sure Harry Harrison wrote a book called Death World back in the freaking
Yeah,
60s. And then, believe it or not, the next time I started seeing that was in Rogue Trader.
yeah. Well, you see, uh, what's his name? The guy that wrote Dune also used it. His name's right there.
Frank Herbert.
Frank Herbert. He also used the term Death World. Um, but no, there's this subgenre of sci-fi called humanity. Fuck yeah,
Mhm.
right? They always use the acronym on YouTube, but and it's always like we go out, come in some conflict, and then the aliens find out that we're badasses and we whip everyone's ass. And these are very popular in the YouTube sphere. And one of the things is that like humans are from a death world, a class 5 death world. That's why they're
See, I wasn't
badasses. We're
doing it
gonna
to make
fuck
it
with you.
It's kind of
No, but
retarded when you think about it.
yeah, it's
I, I I wasn't thinking
that
like, oh, that makes humans badasses. I was thinking more along the lines of that's why we are adaptable. Not necessarily the strongest race in the universe, but that's why we're one of the most
yeah.
adaptable type of races. And uh,
It's the
I'm
kind of
thinking of Death
thing.
World different from what you're thinking. I'm not
Yeah,
thinking Death World like you're like 40K, where a Class 1 Death World is literally a Death World. A
yeah.
class, in this case, a Class 5, Earth being a Class 5 Death World just means that there's a lot of
It,
climates that want to kill you.
yeah, it's the kind of thing that doesn't need to be explained, so you shouldn't. You know that's a problem with a lot of like AI written stories, is because most people that write them just write this story.
Hmm.
They tend to explain things that don't need to be explained. Um, which is like, okay, if you have a bunch of different alien races and you need perspectives. But bro, I'm you're gonna work on the story more because we're all gonna work on our stories more. So
Mhm.
just trust me.
Yeah.
It's one of the kinds of things you might want to like work into the story, but not be so blunt with the explanation of. You
Oh
know,
no,
they
it's not
call it
even.
show don't tell.
I I try not to be blunt with it. This ends up being more as a conversation between two characters just before something happens. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it's not here. It's in your face. It's just the fact of, oh, I came from what is considered a class one death world, mostly because the pollen makes you either crazy or smart.
Hmm.
Oh, you mean like old Earth? No, no, no. Old Earth is class five, and before he starts saying why, the conversation gets cut short, and that's all it was going to be
Okay.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's any world is probably a death world if your species didn't grow up there.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not just that the phrase is just very hokey.
Yeah.
You know what I
Also,
mean?
that
Like,
whole like humans are such super badasses. I think this is a reaction to like for a long time in science fiction, it was all like humans are just lame and worthless, and everybody out there is just like so
well,
much cooler than humans. And I think it was just it's a weird
we
reaction
should
to
be
that.
badasses to some people and lame and useless to others.
Right. I always notice that a lot of the aliens, especially like the humanoids, they all tend to be, you could kind of guesstimate that they were evolved from a species like tigers or lizards that have built-in weaponry, which I think is actually kind of a flaw or a weakness compared to humanity being born with nothing,
We
so
have
weak and
things.
fragile that it made them, potentially the smartest race out there in what they had to
I
do
have
to
Canadian
survive.
internet too, bro. Oh, sorry,
Oh,
Well,
because
I
one
was
of
like,
the
what
things that
does
made
that have to do
humans
with what
what
I
we
was saying?
are is
Uh,
the weaknesses we had. Like we had to learn to cook our food because we have
Yeah.
horrendously bad digestive systems.
mhm.
well, our digestion systems have actually gotten worse because we cook food. We used to have better.
Well, I mean,
Um,
just think about this right off in the most simplest of terms. Like lizard men or cat men probably wouldn't have invented even the freaking spear for like millennia, if not millions of years later than we did, because they're just like, why I got claws, I got teeth, I don't need a freaking spear. And we made
well,
a
you
spear
don't make a spear because you got the ability to kill something.
or
You make a
or a
spear
knife
because you
or
want to throw
whatever. They
something.
wouldn't have even developed certain tools until
Yeah,
later. They would have just relied on their for lack of a better term,
yeah.
God given built in
Well,
tools.
I already create two alien species, man. Lizard men like yourself,
Hmm.
because lizard men are fucking lizard men, and
Hmm.
then that race of nympho babes that seem to have no men and really need some because why not?
I mean,
I'm guilty of the same thing. I actually had
I'm
um,
just saying, when I become spaceman Jim, those are the two races I want to come across: Adventure Time and Adventure Time.
I
um,
kind of
I
just like aliens that are analogous to any Earth life form. Like they should not even have the same categories.
I don't know.
Shut
I,
up!
I
Don't
kind
take
of
my
have a little bit different
hot
take on
alien
that.
babes from me, bro.
I kind of think that life has to follow some certain rules, and the reptilian era seems like a very logical step along the chain of all life, and that reptiles would be actually incredibly common and likely in the beginnings, and then you get one group of reptiles that become lizard men, and you
Lizard
know
man.
for me, they're always my ancients. My precursors are always, either dinosaurs or lizard men or something like that. Because it's just you can use,
You
Earth
gotta
as
you
as
gotta
a,
psych it out
What?
In the universe, in the shared universe, it's gonna be like a psych maybe sometime in 2 or 3 years of doing these short stories. We're gonna
Hmm.
find out they're actually a much younger race.
I can see that too.
They developed around the same timeline we did, but their civilization got to about like the industrial age and collapsed. And it's just how fucking weird their technology is, not how advanced it is.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of something because I really liked GWs and I'm not sure where they got it from, but the Slotty or the Slan or the Frog People, I just
Yeah, yeah,
freaking loved that. It was just so like, God, that is so odd, you know,
yeah.
giant
Like
frog
like
man, doing their froggy culty shit, it just
we've been on the frontier, like getting lizard men ancient technology, thinking it's like supercomputers, and it's just like a steam boiler. You know what I mean, Shadow? Oh, oh,
yeah, something like that. And I like the idea that they used like Stargate portals or whatever instead of actual ships to get from place to place, so that you
yeah.
won't find their spaceships, but you will find you know fallen civilizations of them all over the freaking place, but no, nothing beyond that. They would just invade with, hordes of things or whatever, uh,
Hmm.
and then get their asses kicked, or they screwed up because they summoned demons or something, and then fell. But I do kind of like the idea of there being something even older, something really weird, not the Greys, but like
Cthulhu-esque.
across between like the Greys and uh, what was that TV show? Uh, it had those weird, tall, skinny, big head, not really big this way, but like long headed weirdos that came to Earth. It was like a 80s or 90s TV
I can
show.
picture it. I can't think of it though. I don't know if I ever saw it,
You
but
know what
Not
I'm talking
I
about? It had that one weird
Boneheads.
actor with the weird face as
yeah.
the lead, human character, where the humans were now working for the aliens because the aliens were so superior, and they had some sort of weird plot going on that we never found out about, but you
Earth's
knew you
final
couldn't
conflict.
trust.
Is that
Maybe
it?
it wasn't the like John Travolta thing. It was a completely different thing. But
Oh, okay.
the aliens were kind of like like
Was there a
soft.
lot of purple in it?
Yes, and
Yeah.
the
So
aliens were
so
like 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 androgynous, pretty
yeah.
sort of. Yeah.
Then crafting game was right. Earth Final Conflict.
Okay. Like something like that. Like something like almost like the Mimbari from Babylon 5. Something that very graceful and lithe and almost androgynous. Some sort of weird thing. Before the lizard man, something very not angelic, but almost kind of along those
Earth Final
lines that
Conflict.
but then they their egos, or their almost like the Eldar, they did something and screwed themselves over, or they tried to push everybody else around, and everybody said, screw you fairies, we're just gonna you know
Well, best I could tell about that show, it was a very interesting concept. They, through selective breeding, had bred out all aggression in their species to the point they actually
Well,
couldn't
it
survive anymore.
it wasn't selective
Their
breeding. They
bodies
split their
could not sustain themselves properly.
they used
Well,
some sort of
best I said, best I could tell.
machine to split themselves into two parts. I put a
Okay, let me pull you up. Okay, if I can actually push the buttons properly.
yeah that show.
Yeah, that was with the one of the. It was a Roddenberry thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And the main actor, I saw him in something else once, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this weirdo?" He just looked just so odd. I'm like, why did you pick this guy? I mean,
Um, the they had the first season guy left the show. I think he did 1 or 2 seasons. Then they replaced him.
Yeah,
I don't know
it
why.
was kind of interesting. Here, you want me to bring that back up? You can continue showing us what you're showing us.
Oh no! I tried to pull it down. I thought I did that. I just started looking through other stuff while we were talking. Um, I was gonna look for the actor. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, like I said, I'd seen him on one other like one show, just as like a one time thing. Maybe it was before, maybe it was after, but he was just so odd looking. It was almost like he had fetal alcohol syndrome or something, but turned out kind of okay. And they went, "Oh yeah, that's the guy we want."
the original actor.
Yes,
Uh,
yeah, he's
'Cause
just.
you know what I mean. They switched the lead.
Mhm.
Um, fuck, it doesn't even show his picture on any of the.
Which series of V? You mean the new one, Off Grid, or
Uh,
the original?
Oh, that got redone? I didn't even, wasn't even
Yeah,
aware.
V.
I never saw it.
I never even.
And one of my favorite actresses of all time, Marina Baccara, she played the lead bad guy, but she had
Mhm.
like really short hair, and I'm just like, what the shit? Why'd you do that? But
I,
To make her look more off-putting.
yeah, and it worked. And she was also in, wasn't she also in Stargate with the Ori or something later on as well?
Yeah, she was like the Ori Jesus character.
Hmm.
yeah, she was
Um,
supposed to be like the Ori impregnating the that one female who was always out for herself when she became part of the SG-1.
yeah,
Claudia Black.
Yeah,
yeah.
the character that in reality would never be part of the military, given how out for herself she was.
Right. That I think that was just like what was it? Farscape had just ended, and they said, "Hey, you know what would be funny if we took both of you guys from that show and bring you in here and constantly make
Reverse
reference."
your characters.
Mhm.
Well, and not only
Um,
that, and constantly make references to Farscape, which I never watched. One of these days I will because
there
I
weren't
hear.
too many
There's
references.
some
It's
good
okay.
episodes of Farscape. It's very weird. It's
Yeah.
not Lex weird, but it's weird.
Well, hey,
Yeah,
don't
Farscape
badmouth
is
the
one of those
Lex, man.
shows that you can't just go watch 1 or 2 episodes and go, okay, that's too weird. You actually have to get at least a season in before you can make a full decision if you like the show or not.
Um, I will. Claudia was only supposed to come on for like 1 or 2 episodes, but
everybody liked her so much, even though she's like
she
she
killed the show
she
for me.
for
An
me, she
absolute
was
awful
literally
person.
everything I despise in a woman. She was
Hmm.
just the most repugnant character. I don't know how she was in Farscape, but there was it was just like she was
She
the
was
most
really cold and militaristic.
everything I could not
Interestingly enough,
stand.
well, when I said the two actors switched roles, I'm not saying too far off from the truth. Uh, he was human from Earth. She was an alien, kind of like they are now. But she was 100% cold, militaristic. She did what she was told, how she was told, and she
She
tried to
would have
order the
made
crew
for she
around.
would have made for the very stereotypical D&D female thief.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Which would have
And
been a better
Stargate.
kind of role for her. And off
Yeah.
grid, yeah, the engineers in Prometheus also very akin to how I picture whatever the precursors would be. Just something so high tech
God, there was
and full of
it was such a
themselves.
oh yeah, sorry. It,
No
Hmm.
worries.
it was such a stupid episode of Stargate Atlantis.
Hmm.
Stupid fucking episode. They brought back the ancients because there was a ship that was traveling light speed in between the two galaxies. So they brought them back just for the just for them
Oh,
to
I remember
not
this
listen to
story.
humans about the replicators, even though they literally gave them all the data. Oh, we can control them. Uh, we literally can
Hmm.
prove to you they wiped out your kind. Oh, we can control them. Fucking retarded.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, by the way,
Weren't that
they're all
ancients
going to get
grays
wiped
though?
out.
No, no,
No,
no,
the
no. Those are the Asgardians.
Oh yeah,
and the
which was even
Asgardians.
dumber. Which
Yeah, the
was dumb.
Asgardians
I
were just
mean,
clones of clones of clones of clones of clones. It's like you guys didn't keep
Yeah.
any of your original DNA. You didn't like purposely keep hundreds of millions of your fucking original bodies for that exact purpose.
Mm-hmm.
the whole idea of naming
Well,
them
it's
Guardians
arrogance, right? Like,
was just like
Yeah.
stupid beyond belief. I mean, I'm not a big fan of trying to use mythology to explain the alien stuff, even though I'm a big
well,
fan.
that was the premise of the entire show, and they just kept going with it.
Right,
Like it was the
It's just
premise
gotten
with the
trite at
gold.
this point.
Yeah, like
but
Yeah.
it
I
was
mean, if
fun with
you're
the
gonna do that,
gold, but when you do it with every alien race that's older
hmm
than the
and not only
Paldoc
that though,
curve.
but I mean, the in UFO lore, there's
Mm-hmm.
a group that would fit better to be called the Asgardians, which were the Nordics, the big Aryan fucks. Just call them the Asgardians and call your other guys something else. If you want to use the
Well,
phrase,
that's assuming the writers even know about that, or if it's even even if that UFO lore has been around longer than the TV show, right?
well, it's literally that lore has literally been around since either you could go as far back to the '60s or way back to mythology. Either way, it's just the Greys were nothing Viking like whatsoever. So why go that route? There's no way you're going to
It
mistake.
could have
Well,
been just funny. It's because
well,
they are nothing
supposedly.
like.
Sorry, let's finish, Justin.
No, they are nothing like what you would perceive a Viking. So it's like yin and yang opposites, kind of like.
Or they had some
Yeah.
sort of like
Well,
hologram technology to
Hmm.
make them look human. That's even dumber.
They
You
did that a
well,
few times in episodes.
yeah, they did. But the supposedly, like from my understanding, they had their cloning technology was working great for hundreds of thousands of years. Like when they first visited humans, they looked like the ancients. They looked human. Therefore, they were the
No,
Asgardian
they
gods
were
that
never
they
like
came to
that.
be. That was
I
my
know I
understanding.
haven't off grid. I did get to. I was in a model makers club in Hollywood where I got to see the behind the scenes of Alien and the space jockey and all that stuff before anybody else ever did. Before they made the making of Alien, it was actually part of that. I got to see the different organs that they used for the face hugger. It was like lamb and lobster and crab and shit, but they used real guts and stuff to make a lot of those things. And I got to see the dry dock for the first Star Trek movie. I got to
Mm.
touch the Dark Star from the movie Dark Star, and all kinds of weird crap. And when we got to see all that, the sky jockey and all that other stuff that you barely got to see in the original Alien movie, it was just like, why didn't you use all this crap? This is great. And then they never, you know, went back to it until Prometheus, and I'm just like, too late. Too. Hold on a second, guys.
Yeah, someone's downstairs.
It sounds like it.
Fucking, this is the last time we see Shadow. There's a meth head in
We
his
just
living
hear
room.
we just hear a flashbang.
Pop, pop, pop. Mm. Yeah.
I was blind for different painting techniques and discovered one that's absolutely amazing for lazy painters.
Mm-hmm. What's
You
that?
start with black primer, take a gray dry brush, and then zenithal white over the top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you didn't get hit with, the zenithal has a nice highlight to it.
Yeah, that's
It
slap shop.
it's a combination of slapchop and zenithal.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
well,
was
no,
weird.
Zenithal is the key thing that makes slap shot work.
I've got a tracking device for my boy while he's in Mexico, and it literally sounded like somebody's in my house, and I'm like, someone's about to get shot.
Yeah,
But it's just my
we were
dog running
saying
up and
that.
downstairs.
We were saying this was the last time we saw Shadow.
Yeah,
Um,
just hear a
so
flashbang and a few pops.
so TCG, I've got the best lazy man's painting technique you'll ever need to know. It is the most
Oh,
efficiently lazy technique ever. Put the brush down, put the miniature down, and give up the hobby. You'll never have to worry about it.
I don't think I could do that even if I wanted to.
It's called being lazy, bro.
It's right there in the title, isn't it?
The laziest fucking thing you can do is not do it.
Yeah, I know you are a master of that, but I can't even
Yes.
picture you giving it up.
Nah. Uh, it
You
felt
know,
like
the
it
thing that
deserved
really
this.
bothers me about the Prometheus movies and just the science fiction in general is that all the characters are these like emotional train wrecks, backbiting. These people would never get these jobs. They'd be
Well,
weeded out in the
it's
first
no,
2 minutes
it's
of
like
the first interview.
what is it? Fucking
like
Cameron makes those movies.
You know, like
He
if you ever listen to like the recordings of like
Kurt
during the
Cameron?
Apollo 13
yeah, Kurt
disaster,
Cameron. I just said Cameron
like
makes
the
those
radio
movies.
chatter with between Mission Control and Apollo 13, if you weren't listening to what they were saying, you'd think nothing was ever wrong. Because that's
Yeah.
the kind of people they hire. People
Well,
to do that
yes,
kind of crap.
for like early space stuff, but I'm assuming at least by the Promethean time period, the technology has become hardened enough that you have less
Yeah, but even still, you'd think you'd have
rigor
vaguely
in.
competent people. Like that whole thing that they went through, those guys, like, just like they took off their breathing equipment on the alien planet. Look, if I was the captain of that ship, I was like, oh, you do that if you want. You're never coming back on this ship again.
Yeah,
Who the
exactly.
hell else do you got
uh-huh.
now?
Off grid. I didn't follow this stuff, but it actually sounds kind of interesting. I gave up on Alien when what's her name, Winona Ryder showed up. I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. Sorry, I'm done.
4.
Alien 3 was bad, and
I
then
liked Alien 3.
uh,
Yeah.
I liked Alien 3.
I'm
But
just
I
thinking to
accepted it for what
myself,
it was, right?
I'm just thinking to myself, oh dear God, Ripley has landed on a prison colony, and she thought the aliens were bad. She's going to end up as a human chew toy in a matter of seconds. You know
Well,
what
it
I
just
mean? And
happened that there was a religious cult that was,
yeah, I was like,
which
yeah, no,
could happen. It does happen in prisons, right? So it could
I
happen,
know, but I just couldn't. I couldn't
and it also
fathom it.
depends on what they were in prison for. But yeah,
Rape.
yeah,
Sorry. If not, well, it's a good thing they're in prison, and it sucks to be her. Just saying. I always
yeah.
had a thing for her, as a little kid, It's like, wow, then I grew up and just like, oh, God, she's kind of weird looking now that
She
I
is
think
kind of
about
weird looking, but I would still smash her when she was in her 20s. She's a little old for me now, but
it. Right. Well, but yeah, and it's like, this is so much plot armor, you know.
yeah. I still step over that one like real world
Other
scenario.
than that, it was a very
And
scary situation.
I'm really glad they didn't do the thing that was originally written, is that it was a wooden ark on a water world, that the
Ugh.
prison colony was made out of wood and floating on water,
Hmm.
which was the original proposed idea. It's like that makes a lot of no sense. How the fuck did they build a wooden
Yeah.
ark on water world space? And why would anyone like do that? Like set up a prison colony on a world with no land? Okay,
The other
yeah,
thing,
okay. How are they getting them down there without burning up the wooden fucking ship that was built by hand? Like a log ship, not a fucking
That's so dumb.
the other thing,
yeah,
a completely water surfaced world is going to be a nonstop global hurricane.
Yeah,
Because nothing's
yeah.
ever going to break up the weather patterns. It's just going to be a Category 5 storm everywhere all the time.
Mhm.
Probably worse than that.
oh, I can see that off grid.
You
Uh,
might get you might get lull points like you do with the sandstorms on Mars,
mhm. Yeah, but I also find I mean, it's intriguing as shit. The water world. I like using them,
Hmm.
but um, you're just asking for nonstop problems. You know, unless you literally, you know, create like battleship sized submarines, to handle everything. And then, even then, if there are no big giant sea monsters, what the frick's the point, right? I mean, why
Exactly.
bother? Unless maybe you've got some sort of Sahagin or fish people that live down at the bottom. Okay, maybe, but then you're getting goofy because you've got fishmen and glass dome cities.
Lizard man, okay. Fisherman, that's too far.
Right. Well, I mean, because they're going to go with the glass dome underwater Atlantis, like in the freaking Aquaman cartoon, which makes no sense. You need fire to make glass, and you're living underwater. How's that going to work out?
That
Where
One
do you get? Where do
the
you get the
anime One
freaking
Piece handled that.
sand?
Sorry,
Go ahead, TCG.
the the anime One Piece actually handled that quite well. It's a very gonzo anime, but they explained why there's an underwater city in the fact that beneath the trees, well, for some reason the trees can transmit sunlight down to that part of the sea, and they're at the bottom of a several mile deep sea. But the big thing is that tree also produces a very rubbery sap that actually creates a giant bubble around the city.
Mm.
That's interesting. That's interesting. That's a lot of work,
It's
but
gonzo, but it's less confusing than the freaking glass dome. That's for sure.
you're right. I know. I used to, as
I
you can
don't
see,
know.
my Aquaman action figure up there. That I found. Maybe you can't see it.
The best alien race of the entire Star Wars universe, the Gungans.
When I was a kid, and you guys
Fuck
remember?
off, we're talking about Gungans right now.
Do you guys remember like the Super Friends or whatever it was? And every once in a while, it would be an Aquaman episode, just Aquaman. Forget the rest of the Super Friends. Those were my favorites. As a kid, Aquaman was one of my favorite superheroes,
And this is when Shadow came out of the closet.
and I just, I love that whole
It
dumb.
wasn't making gay porn. It wasn't.
Yeah, I had a thing for
There,
Aqualad
there was a there
in
was
my
an
senior
Aquaman
house.
cartoon series. I remember he had the little sidekick they rode on the seahorses.
Yeah, Aqualad. Yeah, yeah, it was gay as shit, but
Yeah.
Aquaman. It just seemed like so different. And Alien and Black Manta was freaking cool as shit. Darth Vader before Darth Vader, he just lived underwater. I thought that was pretty, kind of spooky and stuff.
Okay,
I,
so
I
you can
never
talk about
understood
Star
why
Wars people living
Aquaman was
underwater,
part of
but
the
I'm not an asshole.
superhero team. Because it's like the guy's useless out of the water. Well,
Well,
let me talk to some fish and see if I get any hit.
Well,
It's like,
what they
you do
did was
that.
they learned from Namor from Marvel, and they realized, oh, he'd have to be super strong and all this other stuff to live under all that pressure. So then, if you remember, there was a while when Aquaman came back into the limelight. He had the beard and the freaking harpoon hook hand, and he was a badass. You know, uh,
Hmm.
they just didn't, they didn't, think it all the way through how, if you could live under freaking water all the way at the bottom of the ocean, and you did come up to the surface, you'd be able to, jump like you could fly and, bend steel in your hands. You'd be so freaking strong and all
Mm.
that crap. But yeah, you could talk to fish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what,
let's just
what
hope
really does a
the
fish have to say?
let's just hope the middle. Let's just hope the murder victim had a fish tank and something larger than a goldfish.
Yeah.
Well, bloop, bloop, says bloop, 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 bloop. Can you translate that? Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, under the sea. Whiskers, welcome to the show. Never seen you before. We're just here being weird. I should have added a dirigible soaring high above the storm, if such a thing. Yeah, I don't think it would be possible. I think you'd be looking at a freaking total party kill kind of thing with any sort of hot air device in a world like that. Um, but it is fun to imagine. I do. Uh,
Well, you know my policy. If you're not getting a total party kill every 20 seconds, you're not doing it right.
Whiskers. Yeah, I don't get that. You're starting to sound kind of weird. Um,
Yeah, yeah. So you kill all your players. They pull out new pieces of paper, and you inform them that they're all dead before they even get a chance to write anything down.
killed by your electric eel in the fish tank. Uh,
Oh, oh,
I could,
mm.
Aquaman reminds me. Did you ever see Attack of the Killer Tomatoes?
yes,
Oh,
And they had the
with
one
George Clooney.
one of
George
the
Clooney's
guys
best work.
one of the guys on the team was the Frogman. He just like came to a fountain. He just swam around the fountain the entire movie because nothing else for him to do.
I oh, they turned that into a Saturday morning cartoon. It was so fucking popular in the 80s.
Hey, it's funny. I've only seen it once, and when I saw that the cartoon was going to be a thing, I'm like, this is going to be retarded, isn't it?
Yeah, I gotta watch the series again because there's a couple of Killer Tomato, Attack of the Killer Tomato movies.
It's not really a premise where you have a lot of places to go.
Yeah,
I can't help but
it's
think
like
that
that Toxic Avenger thing, you know.
Oh, Toxie was awesome. I like Toxie.
Yeah. Same
A friend of
company, I
mine
think.
forced me to watch that entire movie series.
Oh,
Traumaville, or who made that? Was that Trauma?
trauma.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel sorry for you there, bro, because I know they kept making those things well after they should have stopped, and the budget got down to tens of dollars.
The last one that I seen was when he was facing Lucifer himself.
And that one was probably like in 2019
I,
or
I
whatever.
couldn't help thinking that they were just really trying to rip off Swamp Thing, which
Yeah, that was.
God love Adrian Barbeau, but otherwise that movie was just awful. And if you'd ever read Swamp Thing or even Man Thing, those comic books were horror comic books, and that
Yeah,
movie was a freaking
Oh yeah,
joke.
and that's why I like the TV series, because the TV series, though it didn't stick to the origin story perfectly. Like it's another version. Like all you should accept with all comic book adaptations.
Mhm.
Um, it did hit the horror vibe really well. It wasn't like total shock horror, but it hit the vibe of horror.
You
And I,
think
I
so?
recommend to everybody that. Did you watch the TV series?
Oh no, I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm
I
talking
just
about. The
saw the
TV
movie
series
and I
from
went,
about 2, 3 years
okay,
ago,
really?
beginning
I
of
know there was
Okay.
a
COVID, something
cartoon,
like that.
but cartoon definitely was not a horror
Because I
movie.
was getting ready to at some point like try to find an omnibus because I was always a big fan of Bernie Wrightson's art, the black and
Yeah.
white stuff, and always
Um, they merged two characters. They merged the Doctor and the love interest into the same character.
hmm,
So you had more reason to have the hot chick on camera.
okay.
I have no problem with. Um, Most people don't like the lead that they picked. Did you ever watch the Teen Wolf TV series? No.
That was the series.
Yeah, it was more of a. It was done by MTV, I think.
That
And it,
makes perfect sense. I could
um,
see them trying to pull that off.
and it
If
was done more on the vibe of a CW drama than
like Buffy and
yeah the
Supernatural
Teen
and
Wolf.
the
The
Flash.
the the Swamp Thing one was one of like Netflix or something like that, so it had that very uh Daredevil vibe kind of thing, but it
Okay,
was
as long
more
as
of
it
the
wasn't
horror.
like Creep Show or
No, no, it was a continuous story through the 8 or 10 episodes or whatever. But you know, most people the it follows mostly the female character, right? She's the protagonist of the series. The
Okay.
Swamp Thing is like, what the fuck is this? Who's that? Why is there a plant growing? Why is there a tree growing through a guy in the swamp? Kind of like, why is like half the town sick from like a fungus? You get a lot of little body horror stuff involving plants and shit like that.
Okay.
But it was good. It's worth a watch. I've watched it a couple of times.
It sounds like something I'd want to watch before I started reading the comic books because then I get all pissed off.
Yeah, there are a lot of Spurgs that got pissed off, but usually for Spurgy reasons, not for actual. Uh,
Continuity or original,
yeah, yeah. Like the continuity things are like, have you ever seen a comic book reboot? Like every time they restart a comic, they change something about the storyline. Why are
Yeah.
you complaining that they're doing it in the live action series?
Yeah, because I used to watch the Flash
Yeah,
with Jackie, and I never followed the comic book at
Mac.
all. And we really enjoyed the first 2 or 3 seasons of the Flash, not knowing anything about the Flash. So
The one from the '90s or early 2000s.
the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Well, the one that just the most recent one. It was really good. We really liked it. Zoom was just freaking terrifying, and then it got retarded. And we stopped watching it,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know
Oh yeah,
anything
Flash.
about it.
I'm
So,
thinking.
and I did watch the '80s or '90s version, and again, I didn't know anything about it. So I was like, okay, this is
Yeah.
doable. But had I been a Flash fan, I could just see hating it. What's the
Yeah.
back?
For a second there, I was thinking Flash Gordon, but yeah, Flash. Uh, yeah.
I could go for a Flash Gordon reboot TV show if they, actually, tried to follow stuff and not make it,
A
I watched
drama
like an
about.
episode of the live action Flash Gordon TV show. I had no idea what the hell they were trying to do. It was
They
like,
didn't have the budget to do anything besides walk around town, so everything was just like interpersonal drama on Earth. Very bad.
I didn't even
Uh,
know there was such a thing.
yeah, it was
Late
after
'90s,
its
early
time.
2000s. That's
Really,
why I said that.
because as a kid growing up, the Guardians or whatever it was with the Phantom and Flash Gordon and Mandrake, that was fun.
There was an
Uh,
Yeah.
animated show like in the 90s that was actually a lot of fun.
yeah, that's I
Yes.
think the one I'm talking about with.
No, you're talking about champions or guardians or whatever,
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah,
where there was also like a dedicated Flash show cartoon that was on just before the live action. Like it was like came out a little
no,
before, a
I'm
little
only talking
after.
about an animated, the
Yeah,
one.
yeah. There was both an animated Flash and a live action one that were like
Really, huh.
years apart in release. Um, I watched the animated one too. I think there was actually two cartoons around the same time, but yeah.
Because
Uh,
anything with the Phantom in, I want to you know check it out. I
yeah.
even like the Billy Zane movie. It
The Billy
was
Zane movie was fun. It was
Does
fun.
anybody remember a show? I can't remember what the hell it was called. I think it was on Night Flight at times. It was comic books, but they were like one-off science fiction stories. Wasn't like superheroes. It began with "Ride of the Valkyries" was the theme song, and
Mm,
it was just panel by panel, and they did voice acted them.
no.
Trying to find out what the hell the name of this show was. 'Cause I can't find anybody else who saw it. I may be hallucinating the whole thing now.
yes, that is correct. And what that was so disappointing. He finally breaks his old man out of jail, and what does his old man do? I'm out of here. I'm like, serious? I just busted your ass out of jail, exonerated you, the whole bit, and now I'm, you know my secret identity, blah blah blah, and you're just gonna go fucking hitchhike? I should have left your ass in
Mm.
jail. You'd be safer. You know what I mean?
Did he break him out? I thought he actually
No,
exonerated him.
that's what I mean. He exonerated, got found out he wasn't,
Yeah.
the bad guy. Blah blah blah. Didn't kill his mom. All that, and it was just because they didn't want to keep paying the guy.
I
I'm just,
don't think it was the money for the actor. I think he didn't want to be a regular on the show.
either way, it was just so weak.
Yeah.
Just like, dude, just suck it up. You're the Flash. You know what I mean? Don't you? You
Yeah.
know,
Oh well, the Flash's dad in this case.
yeah, you were the Flash, and to be honest, the '90s Flash was kind of awful in comparison, at least to the first compared to the first 3 years.
Well, it ran into the same problem a lot of early comic book stuff did, and that's they didn't give them access to the villains. And so you'd license a hero, and then you couldn't use any of their villains because they didn't license those to you. And a lot of cases they would refuse to license them to you, which is stupid.
Mhm.
You should have just been. I don't know. I'm a comic book company owner, and I'm licensing one of my superheroes out to some um,
Studio.
studio. I would give them a blanket use of the villains in the world, with the understanding that they don't have exclusive rights. So if they want to have Joker in their world, and I licensed a different superhero out to someone else, and they want to use Joker, it would be their interpretations of Joker, not no care. Like they
Yeah,
couldn't
the
complain
problem
that.
is none of these decisions are ever made by the people on the
I'm
creative
sorry,
side. It's all
Yeah.
the
Alfred.
lawyers.
Yeah, well, you can tell the lawyers work for you. You tell them that that's what you want done, but most people don't think that giving the villains. I'm assuming it's one of those cases where you're not thinking that doing that makes you more money, especially if there's a toy line to go with it and you get a cut of that. You know, because
Absolutely, there's so much money to be made
yeah,
in merchandising and all the other stuff
yeah.
by doing that, and they just say, No, we're not. We don't want
Well,
your."
imagine this: you've got six superheroes that you've licensed out to six different studios, and they have six different interpretations of Joker. Do you think comic book fans that are toy collectors aren't going to buy all six of those fucking interpretations? They do it with only one company
Mhm.
as it is.
Yep. and
So
and and like I said, with the merchandising, toys and T-shirts and all that crap,
yeah,
uh, it's amazing how these companies don't get
yeah.
the
Especially in the '90s, man, when people were throwing fucking money at every stupid novelty thing that was related to this kind of stuff. Like they can't fucking move toys now. But what's that stupid Asian girl from Star Wars that nobody bought the action figure for? Rose, whatever her name was. You know how many units of that fucking action figure would have been sold in 1992 if that story had come out then? Fucking billions of them. There would be two out there for every person on the fucking planet, and they would have sold. You can't give one of those fucking things away today because of how much fucking bad faith these people have created through stupid marketing and
I don't get it. I don't get it. Uh, Someone was I forget who it was the other day, joking about the Lobot character. You remember him from Empire Strikes Back, the guy in the Cloud City with the
oh, with
bear
the
trap.
stupid, yeah, people bought that action figure. Stupid headband guy. Stupid headband guy sold in the millions. People look for that action figure.
And
You
not only
can't give
that,
away a person with speaking lines
it was
in the
funny. I
millions.
forget who was talking about it because back in the day, when it came out, he was like the first action figure you strapped a firecracker to. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But
Because you wanted him because he was a Star Wars figure. Then you got him and realized, why the fuck did I want this
you
character?
bought the
I'm gonna blow
bureaucrat,
him up.
I mean, the administrator, whatever. Okay, we got some firecrackers. Break out the Lobot.
Death Star accountant.
Sorry, guys. Back in the '90s, when Star Wars wasn't even a thing anymore, people were buying Death Star accountant. How the fuck did you fuck that up, massive mega corporation?
You know, it's a funny merchandising story. The whole He-Man thing, how that came about. So
Yeah.
Mattel got the license to do the toys for the Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan movie. They saw the script and were like, "This is not for kids. They're like, we want nothing to do with this." But they had this whole run made up.
So they just changed the hair
Made
color.
new names, they repainted them, and they told somebody, "Make a show out of this."
Well, it started with a little comic script on the boxes. That's why if you ever get the old boxes, you could read these comic strips on the back, and the story's totally different. There have been efforts to integrate the two, but
Yeah, it was funny because even Grenadier Models actually made two metal sets of He-Man, uh, miniatures for painting and whatnot. And I ended up picking some up, not on purpose. I just got a bunch of miniatures. I was buying piles of miniatures. I'm like, what the hell is this from? And then I tracked it down. I'm like, oh, dear God, these are so lame. I never understood any fan base of He-Man whatsoever. Mind you, I
He-Man.
was actually,
Well, He-Man is the most gonzo of all worlds ever.
I know, but
So
it was
you should
just
love
so,
it, man.
It, it
You're like
it makes
contractually
riffs look
required.
like it makes riffs look like regular Earth. I've seen a lot of Conan. They say riffs has everything, including the kitchen sink. And in fact, some of the comic strips you'll see a kitchen sink floating in space. He-Man has more than riffs. That is
but
I
it was
wish
so,
ridiculous.
the word I'm looking for. It was just so,
it was so gay.
And
I
plus,
wish the
we were aged out at that point too.
yeah, I was dating, girls, and I saw this shit, and I'm just like, oh my God.
I wish the live action movie had had just a bit more polish. Just
Yeah,
spent more
I did
time on it
watch it.
turning
I
it.
actually watched the movie uh, a little over a year ago on like Pluto or something because I'd never seen it. And I'm like, okay, it's midnight. I'm going to be up for a while. Okay, I'll give it a try. And I'm like, this isn't awful. If they could have done, this with the toy line or this. Yes, Skeletor
The
does make. As
Skeletor
a matter of
games are totally worth the existence of that franchise.
right, as a matter of hold on
I'm
just a second, guys.
Skeletor! I get it.
Yeah, but that's
Bruce
because it
Bruce
was made like that because originally they were going to do Thulsa Doom in the
Bruce
original
Lombardo
script.
does the best
Yeah.
Skeletor
Skeletor was a
out there.
bitch.
But I found these at my freaking local Dollar Tree, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Nice.
I got to do something with them. I don't know what yet, but I'll do something with them. Um,
Skeletor, like the thing I love about the He-Man universe is Skeletor is all zany and whatnot, but then you get She-Ra and her bad guy Hardak, or I think it's Hardak. He's like fucking actually malevolent and shit. So you get this like broader juxtaposition between the two characters. You got a fucking princess on a unicorn with a guy that shoots rainbows, and then you've got like an actual Dark Lord.
and well, Mac, not only was I too old, I was too straight. So um,
I don't know.
I mean,
I was still a kid. This shit was on. Okay, man.
right. I could almost see a correlation between the kids that grew up watching that to them being adults now. If you know what I'm saying. I think Stewie said something in Family Guy about it. How homoerotic they were, and what do you expect? You give the kids these toys to play with. What do you think's going to happen? Uh,
Yeah, put a shirt on, you fucking weirdo.
and a full set of pants instead of a thong.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
No. You see, it's not a thong. It's just a lot of hair that naturally grows there.
good for you,
His
Osprey.
pubes are so long he ties them back.
I'm
over
not sure
his
what you're
ass,
concurring
dude.
with, Mac, but I'm pretty sure I know what you're concurring with. You know what, Off Grid? I stopped collecting when X-Men departed from the regular story into that weird alternate universe where they're trying to hook up Wolverine and Jean Grey. It never works. That never happens. Short dudes don't hook up with really, really tall,
How?
knockout. Uh,
Could happen.
you know, it could, but it was all about that. I could see right through it. It's like, and they keep trying to do it to this day when, it just doesn't make any sense. And I stopped collecting comic books at that time, and now I'm collecting stuff that I had no business reading when I was a youngster, because it was just before my time. Not that it was
Mm.
too adult, although Vampirella and Eerie and Creepy magazines are high on my list of things to collect. I did read those as a kid.
Now, the Vampirella movie. What do you think of that?
Oh dear God, I've never seen it, and I
Never
never
heard of
will.
that.
I never will because I've read. I literally
It's
own.
worth a watch, but the chick that got the player super hot, just the wrong body shape in
Yeah,
my hands with
I
me
almost I
deliberately.
almost think they need to actually, if they're ever going to do it, actually hire an Asian actress to play her properly.
No,
That's just me going by the way she was drawn in the
no,
set.
that's eyeliner, bro.
It could be, but also the sort of her demeanor was not what you'd expect. She was
Mhm.
actually kind of sweet, and I can't picture a modern actress being able to pull that off. But back then the art was phenomenal, the humor was great,
I
and
don't know. You get Sydney Sweeney some black hair dye.
I don't know who she is, but
Uh,
anything's possible. I just don't. Uh, like I said, I'm collecting or trying to get a hold of the things as far back as I can
mm,
possibly afford. The oldest of the old, whether it be pulps or omnibuses of the really old stuff, because after a certain point, it just turned to shit. The writing and the messaging and all this crap, uh, and for so long the entire fiction fantasy world was just so full of greatness, and then it just now all we get is drivel, just absolute puerile, just garbage.
mm, yeah.
There really is some great stuff out there in the like I said, in the pulps and the news strips and things like that. There's so much great stuff to mine uh, for our games. So many great storylines to borrow from compared to you know just about everything we see these days.
Uh, yeah. I don't know if you got that gif,
I'm pulling it up.
but
Well,
with black hair, obviously, because yeah.
maybe uh, it's hard to tell because the expression
Yeah.
doesn't.
She's very dead faced.
It's not screaming that particular character, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do it because they would ruin it. Even though she was like the superhero character with a bunch of normies, the normies still had enough to them to make you know
Yeah. You get too much girl boss in it now.
yeah, and you're gonna it'll
Um,
sell a million, if not $1 billion worth of everything if they did it today. But you didn't get too many, land whales complaining,
yeah.
that
I
they
don't
don't
know.
get it.
Sweeney has her own production house, and she has no problem doing like hot stuff. So, um, if she ever got the rights to it, she's remaking Barbarella right now.
No, really.
Yeah, with her playing the titular Barbarella,
Hmm.
and I expect there to be more nudity in it than in the
Yeah,
original
I remember
version.
the first time I watched that. I was pretty shocked because it was a long time ago. I was like,
Yeah,
wow, this is pretty crazy. Uh,
yeah.
and of course,
You should find the comic book for that.
yeah,
You
and
can
it's
find it
it's
for
funny because
free.
I found out later that that's where the band Duran Duran got their name from. I'm
Yeah,
just like, okay, that's a weird kind of,
I think they got their name from the comic book, though.
what was the leader? There was a character named Duran Duran,
Yeah, I know.
and I'm just like,
The doctor that she was going
yeah,
after.
I could see that if that comic book is like,
It's a French comic book from the same vein as Metal Hurlan or whatever the fuck that heavy metal. Um, I think it was in the French heavy metal. Don't quote me on that though.
Jane. I'm not sure you mean by that cow, and that that's
Jane's
awesome.
great. That oh Gene. Uh,
Oh, you mean Jane Fonda, right?
Hey
oh
guys,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got a thing that just came up. I will catch you all later. It's
Well,
good seeing you
Take
guys.
care, man. Maybe we'll
yeah.
see you
Good
Yeah.
luck with
Saturday.
that. Have a good night, man.
Sorry if you guys get to hear sound out of me. I'm currently assembling my new chair,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
or rather, lack thereof.
no worries, dude. We're gonna be here for a little while longer. I did do
yeah.
some painting, and as soon as I
I
can swing
I,
it,
I ate a cheeseburger and some chili.
that sounds really good.
Ooh,
I had
yes, it does.
almost no dinner. I've like
Mm.
not been hungry at all lately. It's probably the heat. Um,
I slept from 3 till, like I said, 13 to 8. Uh,
yeah,
apparently, I got a call for dinner at 5 and totally missed it.
I'm sure you've seen the cool illustrations of Watsy's orcs being killed and consumed efficiently and ritualistically hilarious and accurate to my taste. No, I have not. That
Uh,
sounds
give us a
hysterical.
link to that. I'd like to
Yeah,
see that.
upgrade. Yeah,
Yeah, what I want to see is 40k orcs destroy the new D&D orcs.
yeah. I
I
showed
love
Jackie.
40k orcs. They are
I
badass.
showed Jackie
Uh,
that picture, with the sombreros and all that,
Yeah,
and I literally watched a little part of him die inside. It was
okay,
really
so what you need to do is like get him to write a script for like a talking head video, put on his channel, like separate from the stuff he's working on.
uh,
Just like decrying the whole thing as racist and bigoted and hateful of his people.
right, and have him wear the fake mustache and the sombrero because he's
No,
got.
no, no, no. Do it seriously. Like he's
Oh, okay.
actually have him like put on lefty looking clothing. So he's like
Oh God, yeah.
like a college activist,
Right, right.
and see if the video takes any traction in the in like go post it on lefty politics and D&D Reddit and around.
No, because I know you've heard him go on one of his rants. He
Yeah.
can do that with the best of them.
So,
Uh,
so first thing he gets back from his fucking thing,
Trip to
and
Mexico.
yeah, tell him that we're gonna sit down and talk to him about being a left winger for an evening, and he's gotta like film it in small segments so it looks like there's jump cuts from editing out missteps like Lefty stuff always has.
Hmm.
Even if he gets it flawlessly, he's still got to cut the video for like a 3 second gap, and then like,
Okay, off grid.
oh,
Because it was so retarded and insulting to anybody with two functioning brain cells. I just
yeah.
like how how do you think? I mean, how do
The,
they think it's going to come across to like just about everybody?
I just gotta stop you for a minute. Off grid, congratulations! You made the 100th comment of tonight's video.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Uh,
It feels good to be back on the air, don't it?
yeah, cow, right?
I don't like those breaks, but
Yeah,
shit happened, and uh,
yeah.
yeah, not nothing bad, but I'm ready to. Next week, I'm really going to kick out some stuff, some actual videos of stuff
Mm.
because there's I can only imagine because I didn't see any of my friends out there doing videos this last week, and literally I could not find anything to watch or listen to that didn't have to do with the big news event,
Yeah.
and I can only imagine all my friends like you know up to here
Well,
with it.
you know how I feel about Trump. Uh, Liked him when he first showed up in the political scene, but he's been nothing but throwing his own base under the bus since he got into office the first time around. So, you know, uh,
Anytime, OG. See,
grim and dark as it is, I have to stand with the leftists on this one. The bullet should have been about that much further to the side.
no idea, Mac. I don't know, dude. I'm the exact opposite, but um,
Yeah.
being a Christian, I can't help but uh, wonder.
Oh,
What's up, Richard, the dungeon crawler?
I love the people that start going on to the messianic fucking. He's like Lazarus or whatever.
I
He's
haven't
like,
heard any of that. I'm just,
yeah,
I'm a shooter, and I know how uh, easy that shot would have been.
yeah. It's just he's lucky he turned his head at just the right moment.
No, I don't believe in luck, but yeah,
Well,
right.
whatever.
So
But
Richard, have you been here before, man? Uh, Welcome to the show.
Richard,
And yeah, I will be doing. I'll be doing some stuff with some other folks, but I'm gonna talk some gaming. I got some gaming uh, things I want to throw out there uh, to hopefully inspire me to actually write a game book as opposed to
mm,
just fiction, because there are some things that I'd like to play, but I know the likelihood is really slim to.
well, you know my policy when it comes to games: make the rules easy and flexible.
Oh well,
Do not do not
it's not.
pile on every little case use
No, I'm actually
whatever
gonna,
thing.
under our um, system agnostic idea, write things that anybody could use for any game
Hmm.
with no numbers. Unless like mechanic wise, just okay. This
Hmm.
is a percent that this thing might or might not happen, as opposed to roll 3d6 or roll a d4, any of that. No, 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 no. Just
Hmm.
you can figure it out, but here's the ideas that'll hopefully either spark adventure ideas or campaign ideas, or even things like that. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say there, Mac. But once again,
Yeah.
you summed it up. So
Well, hindsight quarterbacking is like just the epitome of wasting time, right?
yeah.
The guy made a pretty good shot, and if it wasn't for the fluke of the Trump turning his head, he'd be dead right now. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Uh,
Screw
uh,
that. Let's play Traveler. That is a game I definitely want to break out, just because it is one of, in my opinion, is one of the which is one of the best systems out there I've ever played. You can do anything with it. Uh,
mhm,
you can play any genre with it. You can, you know, just do whatever you want with it, and it's super easy for the players. They can understand everything, from creating the character all the way up to. No, I don't have any James Bond reviews coming up, just because I didn't buy any more James Bond because I knew I would never play it. It's super expensive, and
you can't get the PDFs. Just review the.
yeah, I could, but um, I really would need to go and watch a lot of the old movies to really go any deeper. And I'm looking for like a decent box set of Bond movies, uh, from the beginning to a certain point. In which case, after that, I'm like, not. I wouldn't need to watch anymore. Just the original classics.
What was the last Daniel Craig film? World's Not Enough. No.
Up to I think I usually draw the line at uh, Moonraker. At that point, I'm like, I'm
I
done.
like the stuff. I like the stuff before the new generation.
Mhm.
Um, fuck.
I even like the Timothy
With
Dalton Bond, but he
no.
was just he was just a little too American, even though he wasn't. If that makes any sense to me, I just like I didn't know anything about the actor other than he was in Flash Gordon. Um, did he die in Moonraker? I don't remember. I'm just like this is just I
Mm,
realized it was a product of the time and science fiction was becoming very popular and they figured well let's just mix spies and science fiction and to me it did not work. Even the Spy Who Loved Me, I think it was, with that submarine car, which I loved as a kid. I had the little corgi version of it.
mm,
Uh, I love that toy. I had that. I played with it all the time. Took it in the bathtub, the whole bit. Even though I hadn't seen the movie, um, just the idea of taking a car and
Fred Mercury.
driving around underwater just sound cool as shit. Um, Oh, last Bond film. You know what? I like the actor. I think in the first one, if that was Casino Royale, I don't remember. But after that, after his
Daniel
girlfriend
Craig.
died, he got all freaking weird. I'm just like, that's not Bond. Bond,
No, Bond
maybe
is a womanizing racist.
he had uh, had relationships with so many women that died. I can't picture him
Well,
ever.
they were
You
meaningless relationships, though.
well, yeah.
This
I
one
just
was meaningful.
I can't picture that being a thing for the real
Uh,
James Bond. And if it was, he would hide that girl away somewhere safe. You know what I mean? To make
well,
sure.
don't forget that that's like the reboot of the series, right? The Daniel Craig, they started the story over. Casino Royale is the first book in the series.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's supposed to be like what you call before his heart got hardened or whatever. But
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
So
and
I didn't. I knew that's what
yeah,
Casino Royale was.
but like that's what they're doing with the character in the movies. But that's not how he was in the books, right? He was
No.
always like a womanizing douche weasel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which whatever. And you got to get the original British first runs,
Yeah.
even if you're they're
Uh,
ebooks, because like there's literally one of the books where he's like this gook, this jap, this, and then when they printed them in America, they were like replaced those with like butler, waiter.
real quick off grid. What do you mean by
Uh,
around 220 mark of the link? I'm not sure what that means.
the 220 mark of what? Did did you try posting something? He's got links shut off because we've had some real assholes. You have to be an admin.
Yeah, send it to me in Discord. Um, Mac, my favorite Bond was Brosnan. I
Pierce
thought
Brosnan.
he was just born to play that part. From the
Yeah,
not moonlighting Remington Steele days. We all said, "Oh my God, this guy's James Bond. Why isn't he playing James
yeah.
Bond?" We finally got it, and Goldeneye was freaking phenomenal. Just a
That was the first one of his.
I believe so. And Vomka Newman, oh my God,
Yeah,
I had such a crush on her from Next Generation on,
same
and
here.
it was just we were just talking about this the other day. Every D&D game, like first.
It's not Newman. It's Jensen.
Oh, Jensen, yeah, yeah,
Jenkins or whatever.
right. And it's
Janssen.
just
Janssen.
the way that movie, within 5 minutes, Bond is freaking cruising off into the sunset in a freaking tank. That
Yeah.
just high impact beginning is how I envision, so many of my games. I want to do that. I get it, guys, that everybody loves Sean Connery as Bond.
I
Uh,
never really liked him. I agree with you. It's fierce.
what was the movie? Was it Doctor No, where he actually
Yeah.
sang? And I'm just like, oh my god.
Well, yeah. He's
I was just
supposed to
like,
be a
no.
well-rounded, talented individual.
I know, but it was so 60s, you know. It was like,
Yeah.
to me, it felt like watching an old Elvis movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'll
Yeah,
tell you,
perhaps
Sean
I'm a little
Connery
colored
never
and
did
emphasized.
anything as good as that one film you haven't watched.
So,
If
perhaps I'm a little
Sean Connery, oh
sorry.
sorry, go. If
As I said,
Sean
perhaps I'm a
Connery
little
isn't in a
colored
movie
on
with a
this.
giant head,
Oh, really? I love Sean Connery. I'll have to check
you don't know what
that
movie
out.
I'm talking about.
But nope.
I think no, Shadow's not frozen. He's just hypnotized by
I'm going
something.
through the comments because I had to I had some I clicked the wrong button and I was trying to pull down that comment so I could highlight other ones and blah blah blah. Yeah, Goldeneye was really good, and who out there didn't play a freaking 1,000 hours of Goldeneye on the Nintendo or some other
Uh,
system? It was just
wasn't that on Super Nintendo?
I thought it was the NES or the N64 something.
I
I
think it was
just
on
know
the
that
second
like
one.
every one of my friends played the shit out of that game,
Yeah.
and
I didn't have it.
it must have been a reason.
As a kid, I was allowed to do uh, human on human, anything but human on human violence, basically.
Yeah.
I know how does that make it any different? But I know. Yeah, agreed, Mac. That's why I'm trying to raise Jackie to uh, think and not just absorb.
I don't know.
Sean Bean was a great bad guy. Uh,
Well, he always
that was
is.
that was the moment I went like, I'm going to follow this guy's career. This guy's freaking amazing. I didn't know who the hell he was, and I need to go watch Sharps. I think it's called. With,
Sharps, the only series he doesn't die in within like 20
yeah,
minutes or whatever. uh,
wasn't he 006,
I don't know.
Sean Bean?
The only thing you need to know about Sean Bean is he's going to die in the film. he
Yeah,
dies.
yeah.
He
You know what?
dies
I
faster
could
than
have.
that one black guy in a party of 5 people.
It's funny you mentioned that. I said this guy could have played Bond when I was watching it the first time. He was
Yeah.
that good. And what was that show that he was
Well,
in?
he couldn't play Bond. Bond needs to survive to the end of the film, bro.
Right, right.
uh, uh, wait, what do you want to know about Sean Bean?
There was a TV show he was in, like a spy show, recently, and I started watching. I'm like, oh, this is really good. And
Did he
then
die within the first episode?
no,
Because
no, no, he didn't.
I don't know, man. That sounds wrong.
I'm
Then
sorry to hear that, off grid. Uh,
uh,
but it
he
was
was in Snowpiercer. He's the bad guy in Snowpiercer, the TV series from a couple of years ago. Uh, I'm on his Wikipedia.
no, it was like a
IMDb.
regular TV show. Maybe it was on Netflix or something. Um, there was another show that I really liked. Do you guys remember? Like it was with Kristen Slater as a spy, like My Own Worst Enemy or something like that.
Uh,
Sounds
Oh,
Chris,
familiar.
you're talking about Equilibrium.
Equilibrium was a good show.
Oh yeah,
Good movie.
yes. Welcome
Christian
back, George.
Slater.
Yeah, I that's another movie I got to get Jackie to watch just because,
What
the
Equilibrium?
Equilibrium.
Christian
Frick yeah,
Slater.
that was and I don't like Christian Bale much. Um,
Yeah, it's like the
he-
only thing he's been in that I actually like. Like
right.
there are a lot of movies that I find enjoyable that he's been in, but
Mhm.
it's pretty much the only one.
I don't watch too much in the way of movies Nowadays, it's mostly just YouTube documentaries.
But what
Live
was
stream.
that show that Christian Slater was in? Was that what it was called? Does anybody remember it? It was another really good like spy show that just it. I was like, this is it just like died like episode 6 or something. It's just like
He
canceled.
was,
I'm like, what the frick? I mean, you
So
know,
many good shows have that history.
yeah, that's why I like the new streaming model where they have like the entire story arc wrap up within the first 6 to 10 episodes, and then if it comes back, it comes back. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
mhm. There was another one that I
Uh,
really loved because it.
Doctor Death.
Uh, did any of you guys see Lie to Me with Tim Roth in it?
I've heard of it, but I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
yeah. Where he's like the facial tick expert.
Right, because
He did
I
like
worked with
three
with
seasons of
some of
that.
the people that was based on, and I learned a lot. And I'm like, oh my god, this show's like, you know, I think it was actually they were worried that people were going to actually learn something from the show. You know what I
No,
mean? But that was another really good show, and uh,
he
boom,
was in Mr. Robot. Christian Slater, right? Let's you got the right actor, right? Let's the sidekick from that Sean Connery film where he's a monk.
I didn't see that. I know he was in Heather's, and
Others.
he was also
Name
in
of the
Archer.
Rose.
What?
Uh, Name of the Rose. You never saw Name of the Rose?
Well, actually, spy films and TV shows. Off grid. You guys can't pull it up on your computer and still image it. Maybe. What are we talking about? Name of the Rose.
Name of the Rose is a good
Never
good
seen it.
movie. You should watch it. Go are that. They made a mini series as well with I want to say Adrian Brody playing Sean Connery's role, but and it's based on a French book. Yeah, I recommend it. It's about Sean Connery and Christian Slater are monks. Well, Sean Connery is, and Christian Slater's an adept, I think they call it.
Okay.
And they go to a monastery, and there was a murder, and they're investigating it. And Sean Connery is using like scientific method and shit,
Uh huh.
and the monks are all superstitious and all that crap. And then they call in the Inquisition, and they try burning them, and it turns out like this one guy was trying to destroy a book, and he was killing people
Oh,
for
okay. Let me write this down
yeah,
real quick, off grid, because I guess you're talking about the Mexicans.
yeah.
Um, Pickled Dragon. 2.20. I've never watched Pickle Dragon.
Never even heard of him.
Yeah.
Uh,
For the record, off grid. If you're on Discord, just hit me up and you can send it to me there. Then I can. And if not, hold on a second. Are you on somebody else's Discord or something that I can grab your info that way? Because sometimes it's hard to search for people.
mhm. I'm still looking for this spy show Christian Slater was on.
I think it's my own worst enemy or something like that. And I don't know if it was a spy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a spy. Because he had uh, like you know split personality kind of thing, and one of them was like hated what he did for a living and was kind of like screw with him and get him caught.
Not Mind Games, was it?
I don't think so.
Uh, How long ago do you think it was?
Yeah, it's My Own Worst Enemy TV series. Christian Slater, 2008.
Okay, that's why I'm looking more recent than that.
Oh no, no, it was a while ago. You're
Okay, yeah, 9 episodes. Fuck. And it would have been before the
okay.
Netflix thing, so old.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. There were 11 episodes of the series. He was in 9 of them.
Okay. Off grid. Go over to DM James or Bloodworth and just leave a comment like in the general or something like that, and then I can grab you and friend you from there,
Hmm.
and then I can send you the link to the show.
Yep.
Oh, Shadow, you'll definitely get
And
a kick out of this. Sorry.
then we'll find out he's Cal, or not Cal. What was that guy's name?
Felix.
Felix. Yeah.
I don't think so. Um,
Uh, hmm.
Yeah, Shadow. When I bought my little Vortex mixer, you
uh
Amazon had the audacity to say, "Do you want a used one to save money?"
Well,
Yeah, I want it to break as soon as I pull it out of the box.
well, they do still
Exactly.
have a fairly good return policy on used goods, and sometimes they're not actually used. It's just the box is crushed or
Okay,
whatever.
where's GM James now?
Um, you can buy like just crates of rejected
Am-
Amazon items
oh yeah,
cheap, and then part them out
I've been
and
researching how to
resell.
potentially get at least one of those someday because that'd be.
Yeah.
I'm very much. I get excited about opening presents not because I'm getting an object, but because I love seeing, not knowing what's in it, then finding out what it is. So those
I'm
Amazon, you have
actually
no idea what's in it, is perfect for me.
off
Yeah.
grid. Sorry, go to Bloodworth because I can't find DM James on my thing except the personal one. I can't find his actual uh, his own Discord. I can only find him as a direct message. I don't know why. So go over to Bloodworth, and I'll hit you up on.
Uh, uh, James's Discord isn't called James's Discord. It's called something weird, something vaguely
Adventure Conqueror
religious.
King.
Oh, okay, I know where he is then. Okay, God.
Yeah.
It's like, and why is it called that of all things?
Yeah. And it's just like it's got nothing to do with anything else he has going on. So
I know, right?
yeah. Oh. Well, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay,
Okey-dokey.
and why is it not? I'm in general, and there was something, but okay, I'm gonna go over to Bloodworth because I didn't see anything there. That's another one I want to check out. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I remember somebody I used to hang out with was. Hey, what's up, Omen? That's pretty funny, Owen. As an engineer, the surprises I like are being on time and on budget. And you know where the link is, Owen, if you want to pop in. Uh, and Raven, what the hell? Been on the air for 2.5 hours. I'll send you the link, all special delivery and shit. Oh, we were already friends. God.
I really need to find something I can attach my vortex mixture to that's much heavier because the thing likes to vibrate my entire little setup here. Because all I've
Yeah,
got is
that's
little.
what Justin's always complaining about. I have mine set up under a disc of styrofoam, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. My desk is full of all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah. I got to try something here soon because it vibrates items off because it's just a little folding table, but in my little 10 by 10 shed is what I got room for. But it vibrates everything I got up here to the point that it's like, oh, got to catch that before it falls off.
All right, we are now friends off grid. God, I'm so bad at this. Oh dear God. Oh no worries, Omen. As long as you're all healed up by Sunday, as I don't know about you, but I'm itching to freaking roll some dice and get you guys into the next thing. We just had like the worst luck over the last I want to say 3 or 4 weeks of everybody, not being able to make it for game night on Sunday. No worries, Raven. I know you're dealing with, the usual catastrophes.
No, that's catastrophes.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Because I'm going to call it quits at the top of the next hour, and go do some stuff. Maybe do a little pre-shopping to look for my next batch of things to paint that aren't Dungeons and Lasers. Because dear God, there's a lot of that, and I don't feel like painting any of it. There's a couple like decent big monstery looking things, and I'm like, yeah, so what? Another purple worm.
Yeah. I
I
mostly
do
paint
have
when I'm on
some.
a stream now. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. I do have some Kickstartery stuff coming in the next couple of months to 6 months or more, and so I can't really count on that. And just about everything else on my table is either work, and I don't feel enthused, and I never enjoy painting like that. When it seems like work, it is work, and it just won't come out. No matter how good you are, if you're not excited to paint that next thing, it's not. You're going to miss things because you're just trying to get it done, so you can go, okay, fine, which is a shame because at some point later on down the road, you'll actually look at that miniature and be like, oh, I can't wait to paint it, or I wish I would have painted it later, because you are enthused to paint it. You ever have that happen to you, TCG?
Not yet at this particular moment. Well, part of the thing is I'm also mostly painting on a stream, unless I got a real hair up my keister.
Uh huh.
But that is partially so I don't paint myself out because I know what kind of crafter I am. If I'm not careful, I will go headlong into something to the point I'm sick of doing it for a while.
Rub it in, Cal. Rub it in.
Yeah, I actually had an opportunity to order more minis, but I passed it up for some more supplies. Like my airbrush actually conked out. Best I can tell, the needle's bent right at the tip. So
Cal,
L
Cal.
properly.
All I ordered were pre-painted with the new Dungeons and Lasers, and that's probably all I will ever do. If they're offering it, that's what I'm doing. I was so.
I like painting miniatures, but I don't look forward to painting terrain. So if I order any more terrain for them, because I did get the Kickstarter, it'll definitely be pre-painted.
So
I
did off grid get in?
I don't know how to copy this image, so I'm gonna copy the image, send it over to Justin, and he can help me out here because I'm awful today.
Oh,
I think I have too many screens open, is why. Let's see.
that's impossible. I've got like 30 open.
Oh, okay.
Well, that also depends on the condition of your computer. My computer doesn't like
Yeah.
me having too many things open at once. mostly
Yeah.
because I found out recently I've been abusing my computer in ways I didn't know, like
Huh.
doing 3D printing slicing. This computer was never meant for that. You're better off with a gaming computer. So I've been asking, and
No.
it's been crashing during some of those slicing events. So that explains it.
Yeah. No. It just takes up more memory. Oh, you don't want to. You got
Yeah,
that.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. It's not my show. I don't care if you got random bits of nudity over there.
there's no nudity there.
Yeah, but
If you watch the video,
no. Even if there's no nudity in it, but
Shadow, the video games nowadays, partial nudity means exposing your belly button.
really, that's
yeah,
Not joking.
some of these people are weird these days. Oh, yeah. But that photo is I've seen that image before.
oh, okay.
Um I didn't get eating out of it, but still.
Okay, almost all of the Wizards of the Coast orcs are dead in the picture. One being cooked over a spit. The big lady is decapitated on Pride Rock.
Stupid
Oh,
fucker.
let me write that down, Cal. Okay, I have seen some stuff at Badger that I liked. Um, hold on a second. Pen.
Hmm. You post that got posted in our general chat, right? Oh no, that's because it's your feed, not okay. Never mind. I thought that was in the group feed for my show for some reason. It's like why would it be there? But I'm losing my mind.
Good,
I've
good for
lost my
them.
mind. You
Take
haven't found
care,
that.
Cal. Be sure to show me what you got. Maybe it'll inspire me to pick up something next month. Because right now I'm flat broke until the end of the month or next month, I should say,
Hmm.
and I'm just thoroughly burnt on painting uh, stuff. I need something to just you know, re-enthuse me because I guess I took too long a hiatus on painting.
Yeah, I prefer to work on character pieces more than just random crap these days.
Right. That's what I've got here on my table are some of the North Star minis I picked up. The girls in bikinis and some elves and some world leaders and from back in the
Yeah.
day and that sort of thing. And I did most of them. The Robo Hitler and Winston Churchill and Clampy freaking Mao with his Robo hands and stuff. And I'm just about done with all that. And
Um. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things. I want to get into diorama work mostly, maybe large figure pieces.
yeah, I've been kind of feeling that way too. I did this one. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
I've
It
actually
was
started on a fairly
Reaper,
large diorama.
Mm.
you
Yeah, you've shown that off before. It's sweet looking.
and
Um,
there's a couple more from Reaper, 65 or 70 mils stuff. One of them's looks like it's from the game Cav, which is basically BattleTech, but their version. It's a mech
calf, yeah.
pilot. It's decent, but it's just not grabbing me. There's another one like a lady paladin. It's kind of sexy, but I'm not. That's not exactly what I'm looking for either. Just something
Hmm.
something I haven't done really, because I've done a lot of different crap and just
Um,
it's just grabbing me by the.
yeah, I'm seriously thinking before the end of the summer, I'm going to start working on those shelves that I've been putting off for like a couple years now. I just got a router. Should be here by the end of the but by the middle of next week, I think the 30th, latest. Uh,
Yeah, because I've got some
yeah.
stunning things on the way later on. A
Hmm.
lot of stuff in March of 25. So I'm like, well, but I do have a bunch of Star Schlock things that might come in, and that's kind of fun. I'm kind of in. I could get into the mood of the 70s, 80s sci-fi stuff, which is actually going to include some Planet of the Apes minis and uh,
Well,
official, but
a lot of my problem is like I've made all these minis over the years. I've gotten rid of most of the stuff I've worked on because I had no place to display it, and if I'm
mhm,
not playing the game, it's just sitting in a box taking up space. So I definitely want to have like I want to split this room in half and have like a fake wall coming down here, so I can put all my minis on
uh-huh,
and other stuff, and maybe some books, and you know, kind of do like a set or whatever, like you have there with the stuff in the back, but
mhm,
a little less slapped together and a little more presentational.
mhm.
Um,
And I've
if
got
that
more on the other
works,
side that are just
yeah.
jammed. One is
Well, I have like no shelves in this room. I have these shelves here that you guys have seen,
mhm.
and besides them, which are just like crammed full of any random. The joke is I can literally reach over here and pull up whatever we're talking about
I've got
because
one. One I've got
I've
one
done it
of these.
many times.
I've got one of these shelve units on either side of the window that's directly in front of me,
Yeah,
and one of them's nothing but paint,
yeah,
except
um,
the top two shelves, and then the other one is more minis that
mhm.
just they're really tall, big minis, and
I just put
Yeah.
a link
I,
to
Because
I, I might look into something. You know. More diorama ish. That way I can kind of knock out all the itches, doing the terrain, if you will, or the basing and stuff like that. Because I always have had a lot of fun trying to make the base tell part of the story.
yeah,
I learned
Shadow.
that from my dad. Yo,
I
yeah,
just put in your crafting section of your Discord a link to it's for Gundam, but it has a lot of different other like useful basing and mostly diorama supplies, like
okay,
pre-built sets of terrain that you can use, trees of multiple sizes. Let's see, what else do they got? They got all kinds of things there. I've been looking at them for a little while now, and
yeah. Ooh,
is it from New Type?
no, this is
uh,
Gundam Place Store is what it's called.
yeah.
And what header did you put it under?
The
Your
one we were talking about earlier,
yeah, your
crafting
crafting
and
section.
painting projects.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I've been looking at it is because it also
It's
has
weird I
stuff
didn't get a
specifically for
notification.
Warhammer.
Yeah, and all kinds of model making.
Yeah, that's why I've
I
been
really
looking at these guys.
regret when they
I'll
did
admit they're
the.
not the cheapest, but compared to certain things,
Yeah,
they're not the most expensive either.
you could always find a product and then look around on Amazon or Temu or
It's
wherever
true.
to
Start
see
in
if
one
you can
place
find
and
the
then
same
go from
thing.
there.
Yeah, knowing something exists is usually half the battle.
Right. That's how I
Exactly.
found those minis that I had ruined by trying to strip them. I just did a basic a search for cowgirl miniatures, and within a minute I had tracked them down, thinking because I didn't know where I got them. They just had been in my box, or my collection for years, and I had no idea where they came from. I buy piles of minis on eBay all the time, and within a couple of short minutes, it's like, oh, North Star. Looked around, found some other stuff, and North Star was actually pretty quick, for being in the UK. From the time they shipped it to me, it was about a week.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised because North Star is big enough. They probably have warehouses in North America.
You think?
Yeah,
Well,
but they move enough
I've been on their site a
merchandise.
couple times, and I think they actually say they. I don't quote me on this, but I think they actually say they
I could have swore it
have
was actually
warehouses in different
pressed
countries
from the
for
UK,
convenience.
but I can't swear on that. But I could
Yeah,
have swore it was it literally had the the customs label and stuff on it.
maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's
Oh,
the other thing is I'm really attached to to metal. I really like metal. I know you're more of a plastic guy, but
yeah, just working with it.
right.
Um,
I like both.
you wouldn't know because you're not a resin guy, but there's this one 3D printing place. Oh, frick, the name is escaping me. I have them. The Lazy Forge.
And yes, I
Uh,
do use clump and other tufts. I haven't
yeah,
done static grass yet. I really love the way it looks and what I've seen. And my friend OK Miniatures, and she doesn't do stuff
yeah,
anymore. She showed how to make a static grass applicator, out of
yeah.
just nothing. It-
Yeah, there are a couple of tutorials out there on how to make a static grass applicator, but you can get one off of Amazon for like $15.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
It was just, it was
as
Uh,
just,
far
she was the kind of girl who's going to really go far. But she made her own Proxon hot wire cutter table and this
mm,
other shit, and she was doing really, really good with her channel. Like blew past me in like 2 months
yeah.
because she's on easy mode. But then she just disappeared.
Who was this?
A girl named a channel called OK Miniatures. She's like maybe about to go into college age.
Maybe that's why.
Not the greatest of painters, but her dad's obviously in construction and taught her all kinds of cool shit. And she was a big fan of Black Magic Craft and was copying a lot of his videos and stuff, and
Yeah,
getting into it, and then just you know
miniatures.
got up to like almost 1,000, and then just disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
I'll check that out off grid.
Her last video was 7 months ago. It was at Walker.
Hmm. Yeah, she seems like a very talented kid, and I don't know what she's going to do, but I mean she got to where she got in just a really short period of time, and if she just kept doing it, you know she'd have a steady income. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Hmm.
Have either of you seen the black primer from Vallejo? Their bottle.
I've heard a lot about it recently, and yes, Cal, please do. Um,
I've never used it. I used the airbrush primer from Stynal Res. Yeah, Stynal Res. Even with a brush, it's pretty good.
And Cal, I used
Oh yeah.
to watch Black Magic religiously, but then he did and said some things that I'm just like, I can't.
What did he do and say?
Uh, just some commie shit
I don't know.
and
I think a lot of people are oversensitive with that.
just
There are less communists out there than
and
they're led to
the
believe.
the really big thing that really bothered me um, was his treatment of uh, some of the things that he had been sent. Uh, it
What do
just
you
was
mean?
he got a bunch of the Dungeons and Laser stuff from Archon, and then he basically just threw it in the trash after he did a video
How do you know that?
because I talked to him.
Okay. Didn't have a use for it. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
he just
It was a
he,
sponsored video, right? So
yeah, it was just like yeah, I got what I made a video. I'm happy, kind of because I wanted to buy it off him. I was going to buy the whole kit and caboodle because it's not at the time it was not easy to get because they hadn't uh, created their online store, and I'm like, dude, I'll pay you, you know, the whole bit and shipping, the whole, I wanted it all because I
Yeah,
love the stuff. And he's like, no, I already tossed it. And I'm like, what do you
that
mean? It's like,
sucks.
oh, I didn't want it. I just like,
I don't know because he's done more videos for them since then. So
I put a picture of the
uh,
Vallejo bottle in the Discord. Let's see if you notice why I asked you.
okay, let me go
Black
look.
74.
Do you
Yeah,
see the
no, no,
word?
it's
It's from
yeah,
another
that's
country. I love this country. The fact that they'll say that.
it's just the word black. That's literally how you spell black in Spanish.
I know. I just think it's hilarious that they actually use it
It's
and they ship
missing a
this around the
G though.
world. No, it's got the G.
No, I said it's missing a G though.
I
Oh, it
know,
needs
right,
two.
Cal?
Okay.
It was just, it was kind of disrespectful. And then, they you know, keep sending it.
Who's it disrespectful to? He got
Uh,
paid to do an ad spot and didn't want the product for
right, but
himself.
um, he could have, he did the bare minimum at the time, video to show it off. He did what he was, I guess, contractually obligated to do, or at least he thought so. Um, but to just toss it like that when, there were people out there that, like myself, who would have happily, put it to use.
But
Yeah.
the word disrespectful seems a little weird, bro. I think you're being overly sensitive.
I am often, and that's one of my good
Okay,
qualities.
I can understand that. I'm the
I mean,
same way,
I've
but
been with them since the beginning. Before anybody knew about them, and
uh,
it was like they're they were our first sponsor,
yeah,
and we've worked with them. We made a Christmas commercial for them,
yeah.
and did everything we could, but because we just didn't have the numbers, uh,
They don't pay you.
yeah, yeah, well,
Well,
uh,
you give it away for free, man. So stop doing that.
well, I do that so that other people will fall in love with
Yeah,
this stuff. It is
Oh yeah.
literally game changing when it comes to terrain. When
yeah,
you see the new stuff, you'll be like, oh, because they've been working up to, every new Kickstarter, they come up with some innovations that blow all the
yeah.
other terrain makers, Dwarven Forge, and even the WizKids stuff, and even Games Workshop. This stuff you could do whatever you want with it, like Legos, and when you're done, you tear it down and it packs away nicely, and
Oh,
Well,
like,
you can't
my
tear it
first
down. You got to glue that shit together.
oh dear God.
my first bit of pre-made terrain will be coming from this Kickstarter because, as you know, I had to do the payment option, but I think I've only got 1 or 2 months left. I forgot how long it's been. I'm coming up close on being done with it.
You
Black
mean
Magic
Jeremy from?
is
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
50,
probably in
something like
his
that.
mid 40s.
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably like 22.
No, no, no.
No,
He's
no, I'm fucking joking, bro.
yeah, uh,
Can't even be
yeah.
worse than me.
Because he does solid work. He's great at what he does.
Yeah,
Um, and I watched him go from paper minis, knowing that he was going to eventually get hooked by the miniature bug because he was making terrain that was, if he sold that terrain that he made, he'd make a fortune, in addition to what he's making. Uh,
yeah, but it becomes a supply chain hassle.
we'll just, put it on eBay and auction it off and be done with it,
Yeah,
and maybe even do some good with that money, charity or something like that. Um, but I haven't watched him in years.
yeah. I stopped watching not because of any perceived commie shit. I could tell he was a lefty from his tattoos, but from the get go. But it just became too repetitive, like all those channels do. So
Right,
once you
right.
get a
The only one I
guy's,
still watch is Wilax Armory. He's a solid
I don't
dude.
know. There are a few interesting ones out there, but at least he tried growing. Like he created his own game,
Mhm.
not too long ago. Black Magic.
Hmm. Which
Um,
every one of us is going to probably do.
yeah, well, hopefully. Um, which like if you can get a copy of it, I think you can buy the STLs for the miniatures. I don't know how good it is. It's one of those things that uh
Very niche.
yeah, it's like a very grim dark kind of souls hunting thing or whatever.
Yeah, kind of like Kingdom Death Monster.
Yeah, sort of in that kind of vein, but without so many monsters. It's more just people
Yeah,
or whatever.
I couldn't I couldn't see being a father of a daughter sporting that shit around too much. You know what I mean? And not feel like and not know that it was going to influence my kid. That's why with
What
Jackie, well, just I could see it, sending her down the wrong path. You know what I mean? Through high school and stuff. You know,
Kingdom Death has got a lot of like body horror stuff. It's not that kind of graphic from what I've seen from his
mhm,
game. It's more just like souls lost in the underworld,
mhm.
trying to find salvation or whatever. It's got that kind of motif going on. Very
Oh,
weird.
leader in 10 minutes or less. Raven, you didn't hear the announcement that I was going to shut it down in like 8 minutes because one, my battery's dying, and two, we've been at this for like 3 hours. Uh,
Yeah, but if you're around at noon tomorrow, I'm definitely gonna start my show up with the. We're gonna talk writing because it's Friday for about a
yep.
half hour. I've done nothing with the prompts so far.
I wrote another page, and
Yeah,
I want to go back over it because I jump from scene to scene,
it's
showing a
whatever.
couple of different things, and I want to like expand upon that a little. Hello, buddy. How you doing?
I'm already
I
deep
don't
into
want it
chapter
to just
two.
be like
You're not locked into any thing until
no,
it's
I know, but it
published.
just seemed I know I could be a little bit more colorful and
Yeah,
interesting in the telling of. Basically, it's like the ranger station that gets overrun by the critters,
yeah.
and it's like one paragraph, and I'm like, and I've jumped like three different scenes.
I'm still working with the idea of doing like a battle log where you got your
Take
five
care,
mechs
Cal.
deployed,
You two off grid.
your five mechs deployed on some battlefield somewhere, and then they got to move towards an objective, and then they're getting picked off along the way.
Hmm.
Um, that's the premise I've got so far, but I haven't put pen to anything.
That could be fun. I
Yeah,
just watched the first the pilot of Firefly, and I got some ideas from watching the Battle of Serenity Valley or wherever it
yeah.
was, and I'm like, yeah, I want to get that kind of feeling to that scene of
Sometime you and I should sit down and come up with a before the writing
come on in, hurry up.
stories start timeline so people can like have things like a world bible.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah,
Just so like TCG and anybody else who wants to join us in this have sort of like you said a little
historical
bit.
events to reference.
Yeah, so that we can, all be on the same page when we do it, instead of
Yeah,
having any sort of continuity issues or anything like that. Because you know
yeah.
it would just be helpful, and
Yeah.
maybe even if we do it right, we can add make some info available to other people as well as some content to put in the books so that there's like maps and
Yeah.
maybe even a timeline. What was that?
Well, the thing about creating a world bible is that 99% of it will never be seen by the reader. It's just so you are on the right page when
Mhm.
writing.
Right,
um
but if any of it's good, have like a sort of an introduction chapter, that we can use.
no, I'm
No.
going to tell you this. That's one of the worst things new writers do is they throw that info dump crap into their books.
Oh,
And
really?
it always you think it's like, oh, I've created all this beautiful stuff. I got to put it out there, but no, that's for you
Okay. Okay.
because
Even the
it's just
Silmarillion was not published till after whatever I forget
yeah,
what
and
it's
that
until
was
after his death.
only because his publisher wanted something,
Yeah,
and it's like, well, there's this. You can have this. It's like why you'd want this, but you can have it. It's like,
Yeah, because I
yeah. A
was I
lot of
was
people
looking
say it's a
at
good read.
I was looking
no,
at
it isn't.
uh, Eisenbach's
No.
foundation, and I think it was Robert A. Heinlein who did something like that, where he like tried to connect all his books and stories together.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called. Uh,
We connected steel caves to foundation. It's called the Greater Foundation series.
okay.
Uh, but yeah, he connected everything to the foundation series. Um, and it works, but like you've got to understand that there's massive tonal differences between even the writing skill that he had.
Hmm.
But it wasn't like he threw in the table sink of backstory because he didn't have any of that stuff when he wrote.
Hmm.
So
I need to get some rust effect
yeah.
paint.
Now what you could do is have like, you know, in RoboCop and Starship Troopers they had the commercials.
Hmm.
You could do like really short commercial breaks, like chapter 8 is a commercial, chapter 6 gets back to the story.
What about like
And the
how?
commercial will be like for something in the universe that
Mhm.
is in the story but not really talked about.
What about the way Howard had those like little those historical paragraphs before each story in Conan? There'd be it like in the
Yeah,
italics style. What
yeah,
Conan was doing between the last story and this story, or what he
yeah.
just did.
You could do some of that stuff. You could also do like
Nice, Joey.
excerpts from Princess Arlen's stuff in Dune. You know, in Dune, there are excerpts from the princess's
Oh,
writings on.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The woman he married instead of the other girl.
yeah. The political marriage, the
Right, right, right.
one he never had any intimacy with, um, which was stupid. You just militarily took over the empire. Anyone who has a problem with you marrying Chani can get fucking bent.
Right, right. And how do you legitimately explain that to Johnny? He's like, yeah, I love you,
Well,
but
she kind of got it because of the dynastic thing that was more familiar in their society.
Plus, his mother constantly was explaining to her that was the
Yeah,
way of the world, so that's what is going to happen.
yeah,
yeah. It only happened. They already did that because his father was doing that with
Jesse.
his mother,
Yeah,
Jessica. It's like,
I'm two minds about it. I kind of like that he kept tradition, but on the same hand, like Justin said, he had the power to break tradition, and he even does it once with the Fremen.
yeah, I was
Mhm.
like,
At least once. Probably, I think he does it multiple times with the Fremen.
You have a problem with Chani being the Empress? Here's the nuclear weapon leveling. No, here's the severing from the Imperium your world has.
Yeah,
You're gonna die on the vine until until you're okay with me, or you know,
Mhm.
we will allow the navigators to bring ships to your world, raiding ships. Any house who wants to raid your world will get a free ride.
Mhm.
We won't do anything for you. We'll just pay for the cab fare for the people who want to do things to you, and you won't be able to retaliate. No, is that
Really?
not like you
makes
don't even
sense.
need to bring out your shock troops? You just gotta like turn to their rivals and say, "We'll pay for your cab fare."
Yeah,
Muster up some mercenaries. We'll drop them off, let them raid their world, and bring the loot back to you on our dime.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta use the little GM's room,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I'm gonna call it. Sorry, Raven.
See you tomorrow.
Yep. Have a good evening, everybody. Thanks for
Mm.
showing up and playing along. This is fun. I needed a break from all that bullshit. Maybe there'll be something good on YouTube later, or I'll just do some actual searches and watch something. Maybe I'll
Well,
just
people,
watch some
yeah,
more
people who
Firefly.
watch the first half an hour of this will get some entertainment.
Hmm.
Me
Mhm.
falling in a very interesting sounding manner.
I watched. You remember the book? Well, you probably remember the Robert Redford film 3 Days for the Condor.
Yes,
Yeah, they made a TV show for it in 2018.
really.
Yeah, more based on modern, like it's a modern setting. And I watched season one of that. There were only the 2 seasons, and it was really good. I recommend it. And then I started the book 6 Days for the Condor, which was what the whole thing was based on. Um, and then my head was starting to kill me too much, so I had to put that stuff away and
I'm
lie
glad you're
back.
feeling better, brother.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know.
Sometimes it just takes a good distraction.
Yeah, but I recommend that if you're looking for a show to watch.
No, I've got
Condor.
a I've got a bunch of new DVDs that I need to
Yeah.
get through, and some old ones. Some stuff I'm gonna wait for Jackie to get here. Um, I really want to watch season 5 of the Venture Brothers, but
You
I
should
don't
just
know.
watch it.
I know, but I told Jackie I wouldn't without him.
Tell him he's grounded if he doesn't sit down and start watching Venture Brothers with you.
Yeah, I could pull rank. I could do that.
Yeah. I'm an authoritarian ass who's going to tell you what to do because I'm bossy. A guy on the
And a
internet told me
control freak.
so.
Don't forget, I'm a control freak.
That's the word I was looking for, but it just wasn't. I'm a control freak. Guy on the internet told me so.
All right, folks. Have a
Yeah.
great week. I'll see you guys
Party on.
tomorrow with Justin, and then Saturday we're going to cover Crafting Gamer's suggestion of trade and manufacture in sci-fi games. So
Mhm.
hopefully that'll be fun too.
We are going to
Night,
read the
everybody.
second half of what was the John Travolta movie that Bear was
Battlefield,
in?
Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, yeah. The second half of the book. It's all just that. You ever read the book?
Nope.
No, read the book.
Yeah, I might. Probably not.